Hi guys, how everyone's doing? Welcome. Everyone is welcome. It's Sunday afternoon, so I appreciate you all being here. And I've got the one and only Matty, the Southern Gooner, in the house. Matty, thank you very much, bro, for your Sunday and for your time. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, glad to be here, brother. It's always, it's always good talking with you, JB. It's always good talking with you,
Oh,
brother.
pleasure, my friend.
I'm
Oh,
looking
pleasure, my
forward to
friend.
this.
Oh, awesome, my friend. Yeah, no, big up the chat. First of all, I want to say thank you for the chat. Thank you for everyone joining us. All your comments, we'll highlight some of them. But yeah, just a huge thank you. If you've not sub to the channel and smash the likes. Also, the link is pinned for this gentleman here, so make sure that you sub to him. And always, yeah, big up everyone. So, Matty, it's been busy, and this merry-go-round of Arsenal Football Club continues. Signings. What's the hold-up? Is it Berta? Is it Arteta? We've got lots to speak about, my friend. But first of all, let's get straight into this. Let's hit the ground running with this. And what I can't understand for the life of me, there it is. Manchester United have already got over the line and confirmed the signing. They paid a 62.5 release clause, has been triggered earlier this week. First signing of the summer, Manchester United. Man United, you know, the team that's in the mud domestically, not done very good, not in Europe, no Champions League football, not even a Conference League. And there they are, straight away, in with a signing, and yet there's Arsenal Football Club going around in circles, not linked with Gyökeres. Now we're not linked with Gyökeres. We won't release calls, etc., etc. Sesson, we'll talk about him later. What's your opinion on this, Matty?
I just, if you look at that, I like to go into details. You look at this. It says a release clause has been triggered earlier this week.
Mm.
Most people see, well, the window open, he's here. This was done early this week, which means they were already on their business. Jess, what's going on, brother? Hope you're enjoying yourself over there.
Big up, Jezza.
Hope you enjoy yourself, brother.
Yeah.
And happy birthday again. Happy birthday again, my friend. For me, it just shows there's several things you can pull away from this, but the one biggest one, JB, is no matter how bad Manchester United is, they still have drawing power.
100.
And this is what our fan base doesn't realize. They think because, they're in the mud, they're mid-table team. Worst Manchester United team we've seen in our lifetime. Both of us combined. That's crazy. You've seen a lot of football, and I'd have to probably say this is probably the worst you've ever seen. And so when you look at how bad this Manchester United team is, they were still able to go get off what would consider what one would consider a marquee signing. Cunha is a good player, and this signals something that should concern every Arsenal fan. These teams are strengthening.
100%.
This is an upgrade. This is a major upgrade here into that team. This is a man that's going to be able to find people and get the ball to him.
This is an exciting player, Matty, isn't it? Yeah, let's not fool around. This is a player that creates. This is a player that was ripping up trees at Wolves and absolutely killing it at Wolves. So Man United have got their man straight away. And it's true what you said, Matty. I mean, he's straight in.
Yeah, I just, people were going on like they were going to stay in the mud and these teams weren't going to do anything. And then you see this. This is after, we got the news on Friday about Sesson, which we all knew Sesson was coming. We all knew that. That was pretty much done deal. And you see this, and it really irritates me because if we knew that certain players like Sesson The Superman is still out there. That's
Mm.
still lingering. You know what's nobody knows what's going on with that. But we know Cesco's there, and you look at this, and it's just like, what are we doing?
Exactly. What are
It's
we
like,
hanging around for?
yeah, just dilly dally. Liverpool have signed a player.
Yeah, Verts.
Yeah,
Frimpong.
and Frimpong. I want to say, I saw last night before I went to bed. Everton is looking at getting Johnny Stones back.
Crazy.
You look over at City in January. Marmouche.
Yeah, facts.
Florian Wirtz says, you know what? I'm not going to come. Okay, well, we'll move to the next best available. And I think they're looking at Turkey.
Yeah, a creative midfield player. Someone that me and you on the streams, Matty, have been saying is what we need.
Yeah.
Where is that? What I'm trying to say, what I don't understand, right, is where is our creative midfield player? Where are the links? Where are the contacts? Because that's what we need. People are saying Odegaard is our creative midfield player. He's the man that's going to get us over the line. It's not the answer, is it? Turkey, look. If you just mentioned him there, I mean, what is going on?
I mean, it's like, you look at that game last night. We sat right there and watched it together. You know, the ball never stopped in midfield. Ball came in the midfield, it was out of there within seconds. It was out. And then you look at us. Do people realize this? We are going into the next season with the same exact players that we failed to get over the line with for the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm being generous. I'm being generous now.
100%, my friend.
And so when you look at players like Ethan, and you have to start asking. I had somebody mention me yesterday. They hit me up and they said, "What you think about Ethan going into the next season?" I said, "If I was his advisor, I'd be trying to get a loan.
Get him out, yeah,
A loan immediately. Immediately. You know, you're hearing people talk about Max Dowman coming in next year.
He's 15, though, Matty.
That's what I was getting to say. He's 15. I was like, he's 15. 15. Look, I know everybody sees Lamar. Everybody sees Douay, Eze, Elise, all these guys, and they get excited. You continue, you know, all these, you know, oh yeah, man. You know, let's get out, let's bring him up and let's turn him into. You have to be delicate with these players at 15. This is why I said before, I would probably send him out on loan to a very good program like Dortmund, someone where he can really, you know, blossom.
Yeah.
But let's just get down to the point. Let's just get down to it. Next year is what I call 0 year. I call this 0 year. This is it. We need to see. This is Tyler Bus coming into this year here. There's no more room
100%.
for 100%. There's no room for the player. We've got to wait on players to develop. We don't have time for that.
No. But is this the man, though? Is this the man, Matty? Because as you just said, we don't have time, and we've been saying this all along, my friend. We ain't got time to hit the ground running. But there you go. Manchester United have joined Arsenal in the race for RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. They're not hanging around.
Would not be surprised.
They're not hanging around.
How many deals have we seen where we lose out on a player we were looking for, whether we want this player or not? How many times have we seen other players come in and get scooped up? Which I think most of us would be fine if they did take him, because then that opens up the door for Joker. But knowing our luck, it won't even be either one of them.
No.
We'll end up with some dude we'll end up with some player from Kazakhstan.
Oh, mate. And the thing is with this, right, Matty, is that apparently it's sort of around about 72 million, 80 million with add-ons. And apparently now we've offered Klarna settings. We've offered like monthly installments. This club is insulting teams by offering installments. How are we offering installments?
You know why? Because we can't afford these wages.
Where's all this chest though? What we've spoken about, Matty? Where's all this? Where's all this money chest that we were going to have? Where's all this 200 million pound that we were going to have this season? Where's that?
But see, JB, we talked about this during the season. These are the wages that these players are on, and then you look at the deal, the Havertz deal. That Havertz deal alone has set us back. See, they hid behind PSR all these years. Now you're looking at PSR for real. Now you're looking at it for real. And you're seeing the damage of putting Jesus, Zinchenko, all these guys on the absorbent wages. Now you don't have any way to maneuver.
Yeah, facts, man.
And so now we're sitting here. You've not won anything. There's no trophies involved. You hadn't got any money from revenue from success. And now you're talking about going down to pay Sesco like you had a furniture rental, like you rent a TV, you rent an entertainment center.
Yeah, facts, mate.
But it doesn't surprise me. I can't tell you how many summers I've sat here, whether it be with Tony Clark Gunner, Jez and Kenny Lee, Lions taking the guys, and we went to transfer window after transfer window, and we see how we dilly-dally, penny pinch, and then we ultimately end up looking like fools.
Yeah.
And we do this every single year. Every single year. Whether this is a play, like I said, Sesco can come good in 10 years, but for right now, no, he's not the answer. But even if that's the player that the manager wants, why is he dilly-dally?
This is what I can't understand, Matty. This is a player that our manager wanted a year ago, last season. And he was sniffing around him sort of back end of the season before. So what I can't understand is what is the problem when you look at like what we've just looked at, Cunha, straight in, this is who we want, bang, straight in, done. Wirtz, Frimpong, Liverpool, straight in, done. It's not as if he's suddenly been linked with this Sesco. This guy's been he's been obsessed by Sesco from day one. What's the hold up? Is it a confrontation between him and Berta still? Is Berta still pulling the strings and saying, well, hang on a minute, old fire? Or do you think the player himself is weighing up his options?
If I was Sesco, honestly, I'd be weighing up my options. Now, and this is just real talk, because I would have to look at the scenarios, look at the situation. Contrary to what most folks think, these players know what's going on in football. He knows this is a high pressure situation coming here. This is high pressure. Now, United is also high pressure, but this is like you're in the fire here. He knows, You
got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, you got to hit the ground running. The other thing I'm hoping. Now, this is me just hoping, y'all. I'm not saying this is what's going on, so don't take this as for word, but this is what I hope is hoping. I'm hoping Bert is throwing the monkey wrench in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping is happening. He's throwing the monkey wrench.
Yeah. I'm hoping Bert is in there swinging, my friend. And
you remember back in the days of fax machines, you was hoping the fax didn't. I sent it back.
Yeah,
we never got to him. I sent it.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't get the message. We didn't get the message.
That's what happened.
It's lost in translation, my friend. Yeah, I'm hoping that as well. I'm hoping Berta is causing a problem, because that's what I want to see. That's what he was brought in for. I don't want him to be a yes man. I want him to turn around and say, well, hang on a minute. I know you want Sesco, but just hang fire. This is not who we need at this football club. And that's what I'm hoping, because it just seems strange to me, man, how everything just takes so long-winded. Zubimendi apparently was having a medical, wasn't he? Done deal?
Yeah.
Done? All done, wasn't it? Shirts being printed and everything. What's going on there? That's gone quiet as well.
Yeah, definitely going quiet. And then you heard. Then I don't know if you heard the report, but I think it was the main man over at Sociedad told him, say, hey man, take some time off, go to camp, think about it before you make the move.
Yeah.
So,
it's worrying.
We don't have time to JB. We don't have time to waste, man. This is June 1st. Then it closes on June 10th. Then it circles back and opens up again.
Well, mate, you're right. And the thing is, we know that teams are going to strengthen. We know Everton's going to strengthen. We know Newcastle's going to strengthen. It's going to be a whole different ball game next season. And what worries me, Matty, as you said, if we go in this season with the same players under the same manager, we could be struggling to make top 5, top 6. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm really, really panicking about this season already, and we're only just in June.
Well, I never really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've told a couple of the guys this weekend. I really have never had. I didn't have any expectations for this season anyway coming up.
No,
because based off of the fact that we're basically leaving it like it is, and we're adding 1 or 2 pieces. The team was not good enough already. So if we just add 1 piece to it, does that make it better? No. This team is still the same team that we've seen the last couple of years. They're still going to have the same problem. They're going to still have the same issues that we've dealt with a lot of these players for the last few years. And then the manager's still here. And his philosophy is not changing. His philosophy is not changing at all.
No.
So it's going to be more the same. Look at people. I saw a tweet this morning for Egal. Egal goes, "Oh, well, we need to change the team to move a transitional style of play." We don't have transitional style of play players anymore. We don't even have that kind of philosophy anymore. Every player on the team is 6 foot. He's got the team. I heard somebody said something yesterday in one of the chats. Might have been during the game yesterday. It was somewhere I saw it, but it was right on the money. He's basically turned our team into a better Everton.
Yeah, facts.
Because
I didn't see that when I was watching the football because I was engrossed. In
somewhere I saw it this weekend. He's essentially turned us into Everton.
Yeah,
because we got tall players, we got physical backs, we got players, tall midfielders, we got tall forwards. Everybody's tall and rugged and it's just like, well, you watch that, contrast that with what we saw with PSG yesterday, and I had a nice conversation with Kenny after the game, and it was, bro, it's like the level of play that was what you watched from PSG yesterday against Inter Milan was transitional play.
Yeah.
That's how we used to play. That's how we used to play under Wenger. That's what we used to do.
100%.
We've gotten away from that. Every play we've got, what we've got, it would take. We would have to have some serious surgery to reconstruct that team and move stuff around, and that's in order for us to do that. And this is why I said going into the season next year is going to be more of the same. And let me throw this out there too. Let me throw you this bone. JB. I told the brother BBK this. We talked Friday, and I told him he brought up a point about the international break. International break is later this year, so there's no break out of the gate like we normally have 1, 2, 3 games international duty. They back. No. They've got about 8, 9 games straight now. Then you get international break. So. He has to have 9, 12 points before we get to the international break. He has to have. We have to be at the very top of the table. I told him, JB. I said, nobody's talking about this point. Aaron, I see you in the chat, brother. Novsky as well.
Big up, big up the chat. Big up Aaron. Big up Novsky. Big up everyone.
Aaron's gonna love this. I can see him doing this number right here. He's gonna go pulling up numbers in a minute when I tell him this. What's our record against the top 6 in the last couple of years has been pretty good, right? We've been pretty good. Pretty doggone decent, right? All right. That was those teams as they were constructed. These teams are strengthening now. Liverpool will be much difficult.
100%.
Manchester City will not be the Manchester City team we played last year, so we're not looking for 5-1 next year. That's more. That's another one. Then you look at teams like United. We see what they're doing. You won't have a give me over them anymore. Chelsea strengthening. You won't have a give me over them anymore. Then you get to Aston Villa, who we struggle with anyway. Then you go to Spurs. That's both of those games are always 50-50 whenever you play them. The points,
Everton, new stadium, strengthening.
Newcastle, we can't beat them when it counts.
No.
So JB, you know what that means? What they're saying? That's more dropped points next year.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And the problem is our record against the lower league teams Everyone's going on about our record against the top six, but you know we struggle against Brentford, we struggle against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
we get beat at home against West Ham. So if you had that,
I forgot about West Ham, and they're going to be that. You would have to think that Potter's on the hot seat, so you would have to at least think they're going to be trying to give it a go next year.
Yeah, and Potter's always had our number, mate, as a manager. He's always
all the way back to when he was over
there. Even when he was at Brighton. And let's not forget, we've got Fulham, West Ham, big up Stephen Allen. I mean, you've also got Brighton, again, that we seem to struggle against. But the problem is as well, though, Matty, is that all these teams that we've just mentioned, they've all got this man's number, haven't they? They all know how he plays now. They set up against him. They make life hard. So this is why we need the players in. This is why we need the creativity. We haven't got time for projects. We haven't got... See, in my book, Sesko will be an absolute waste. Give me a Sesko if I've got Gyökeres alongside him.
Well, you know what? This is the way I would have looked at it, and this is the way I've been saying it. Sesko is what we should have bought instead of Havertz.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think anybody would have had a problem if we brought in Sesko over Havertz.
No.
And if he was bringing in 14, 15 goals, 16 consistently, as I say, upward trajectory, nobody would care. I said, but to be in the situation that we in now and you make that decision, that's where the problem is. Do I think Sesko could come good in 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Probably yes.
Yeah.
But he's like raw. Like he's really raw right now. In the situation that we're in.
He's going to need a lot of coaching, Matty, isn't he? He's going to need coaching.
He needs about 3 years. And I would probably would have did this number, bought him and loaned him back out. Here, you go back over there, or bought him and loaned him to another team, like a Dortmund, or somewhere better.
No, facts, man.
But the problem here is we're in this another season with the same thing that we've already had, JB.
Mm.
This season is looking more like the year we finished 5th, where you just add some junk. Like when we got Fabio Vieira and all them, and you think that, this is gonna get us no, it's not gonna get us to the next level. There's no serious intentional signings here. There's nothing that changes the meter.
No, 100%. 100%. There is nothing. There is nothing. And I mean, I don't understand what the stalling is over. And let me just show you this, Matty, right? Let me just show you this. Let's have a little look here. I don't know if anyone's seen this or not, but apparently this was our profit in the Champions League to get into the semi-final.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
117 million, right, guys? Now, when you look at that, that's what we've made profit. And yet, this is the worrying thing. What we can buy with that money, we can go and release Gyökeres' release calls.
Yep.
We could have got a Delap as well on top of that as a squad player. And here we are is stalling over the Sesko and offering, Klarna settings. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when you see those kind of numbers, and this is why I said, that we love to tout. Everybody, this club loves to tout money. Oh, we made this. We've done this. We've done that. But they don't apply it to when it needs to be applied. Like you said, there's players out there that are available, readily available.
Yeah.
There's a release clause for Gyökeres.
Yeah.
A affordable release clause. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most unique situations you'll find yourself in.
With money in the bank.
Yeah, with money in the bank.
Because let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you, chat, and big up the chat. Big up everyone that's in. Welcome. Unbelievable. Really good to see everyone. Big up Aaron. Big up Nortsky. Everyone in the chat. Jez. And just everyone, my guys. Thank you very much indeed. Make sure you sub and smash the likes. I'm finding it really frustrating, Matty, because the money's there. Gyökeres is in a unique situation, as you said, where we can pay the release calls, get him done, and yet I've got a sneaky feeling now. Won't be surprised, and I don't know how you feel about this. Whether Gyökeres will end up somewhere like PSG now or Barcelona.
Deco came out yesterday and said we're not interested in another striker. We have Lewandowski, so you can take that for however you want to.
Right.
We all know how that works.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all know how that works.
That's kidology, isn't it?
It would not surprise me if he ends up at Barcelona.
Really?
Would not surprise me at all. If Harry Kane is still hitting on
You
all,
don't think PSG will go after him, Matty? You don't think?
I'll give you a wild card. I'll give you a wild card. You want one? I'll give you a wild card. AC Milan.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Allegri's taking over.
What we do know, though, Matty, he's going to end up somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not going to be on the market long. We won't have. He won't be around in 3 weeks. He'll be signed with somebody else within 3 weeks. Won't be here.
And that's
people
crazy.
trying to make it out. I've seen a couple people online trying to make out, oh, why is nobody signing? Why is he not interested? Yeah, Dominic in the chat, that's a good shot. Napoli as well. That's the option for him because Osimhen's probably going to be looking for a move somewhere. There's a lot of chess pieces being moved around.
Yeah,
and I would love for him to come to Arsenal, but the realist in me knows he's probably not coming here. And I said it on my show Friday. Historically, we've never went out and bought the absolute best of the best, knowing by the absolute best of the best.
Never
done it. Historically, we've never done it. So it wouldn't surprise me that we did not go out and do this. Do I think if circumstances were different and Berta came in maybe last summer, I think that you could probably go, okay, that there might be a shot of it. But because I know for a fact that this Sesco thing was talked about last summer, we dealt with him last summer. We discussed a move. We know that that's in the pipeline.
Yeah, and it suits our manager as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because then
he knows if he gets Gyökeres, he's got to drop Kai Havertz. If he gets Sesco, he can bring Kai Havertz into the set.
And JB, it buys him more time with Sesco. I've got to develop it. It takes time. He's got to get used. We got to bed him in.
He's got another narrative.
He's got another 22 games. He's got to kind of get used to the speed of the game. We move a little faster than in Germany. All this kind of stuff, so he can use this as an excuse. Whereas Gyökeres comes in, he needs to be scoring third. He needs to be lighting it up, and you need to be winning games.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's now sort of swinging, isn't it? I mean, there's a comment here about the Kroenkes. Kroenke's not here to win trophies. They're here to make money. Even said it, top four, European Champions League, job done. They trick the fans, believe the UCL spot is the trophies, so what can you do? Well, my opinion's always been that, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, and me and you have said this, Matty, this manager under the Kroenkes has had time, he's had sole run of the football club, and he's had the finances. And he's got the finances again this summer. So where do you lie now? I mean, the only way I'm looking at the Kroenkes is that they're not getting their backside into gear and telling this man to move on. Your time's up. That's my big thing with the Kroenkes. But other than that, I think the Kroenkes have given him more than enough.
Yeah, I think they've given him. Matter of fact, JB, if you can, I'm going to share my screen right here. You just go down to where it says.
At stage, yeah, got it.
There you go, right here.
Yeah,
this is the highest wage bill in European football.
Wow,
last season. PSG, we saw what they did yesterday.
Yeah,
Man City, we know what they've done. Real Madrid, they've got a trophy this year. Barcelona, they won trophies. Yeah. Liverpool trophy, Bayern Munich trophy, Man United, epic failure. We know what the season was. Chelsea, they got a trophy this year. Arsenal, we beat Madrid.
That's it.
That's the way.
381 million.
I know a lot of people love to go. Well, the Kroenkes had, the Kroenkes that I am not. Trust me. Like I tell people all the time, I'm over here with them. I know how they are in the States. I am not the Kroenkes' biggest fan. But the one thing I cannot say is that they did not give him the money. they've given him more money than Arsene Wenger ever saw in his entire tenure here at Arsenal.
100%, mate. Facts. 100%. He has had more than enough.
Yeah. I mean, when you see this here, and just about everybody above him has won and it's not just about everybody above this team has had a trophy in the last 3 years, last 2 or 3 years. And in certain cases, last year.
You ain't even got that. You've even got West Ham and Tottenham thrown in there now.
Yeah. West Ham and Tottenham thrown in there as well. And Palace.
Yeah.
And Palace is on a shoestring budget. And so when you see this, you have to start questioning, like, okay, well, this is where you turn. It goes two ways. You can go, all right, Josh, you've given him the money, so when are you gonna start holding him accountable? Then you flip it, and then you say, well, Arteta, you've been given the money. Why haven't you garnered the success? Because you said it was coming. Don't settle for second place. I'm in the camp of believing that the manager is more of a problem than the ownership. The ownership plays a part, but this manager's his inexperience, his stubbornness, his arrogant nature is one of the sole reasons why we're not where we should be. I watched PSG yesterday, and people saying they were upset when Tottenham. I was just due to the rival. I naturally was like didn't hate to see that, but I was genuinely jealous yesterday watching PSG.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I was jealous.
Oh,
watching that
the football, the goals, the movement, the transition, the passing, the midfield players playing with freedom. Come on, man. I mean, look how they were playing compared to Arsenal Football Club. When I watched PSG yesterday, Matty, I just thought to myself, we've got players ready to go. Man like Martinelli under this PSG manager would not be playing like he played for us this season.
Yep.
Trossard, he'd get a tune out of Trossard. Would not be playing like he has for us this season. And it was just wonderful to see. And I'm thinking, this is where we should be at 5 years in with this manager.
Exactly. We should at least look like a team that's actually legit. Like, oh, I don't want to play that team. That's how we should look. And as that person just stated that, they went through the gauntlet. They went through all the Farmers League.
Yeah, Farmers League. And that leads me nicely in, Matty, right? Because his interview at the end, right? And this will open up some people's eyes. And chat, what's the first thing you notice? Can you breeze that up? I can't get that any bigger, but
I might be able to get it bigger. Just
right.
I'll pull it down and make it a little bit bigger.
But this is what this manager said at the end of the game. And what's the missing link in this paragraph? He's mentioned Liverpool. He's mentioned Aston Villa. So chat, here were a few matches this season that tested us. Liverpool, for example, made things very difficult.
There you go, JB.
Especially in transition. Yeah?
Got a little bit bigger for you if you want to see it. I got a little bit bigger for you.
Let's remove this, guys. Bear with us, chat. I'm still learning the ropes here. Here we go, chat.
Nice and big.
Right, nice and big. I can see now, even us old ones. So it says Liverpool, for example, made things very difficult. They did. And look at the first leg. They made light work of Liverpool, especially in transitions. Aston Villa too were one of the more organised sides we came up against. Gentlemen, the chat, ladies, and everyone. We played this team in the semi-final, y'all. We played this team in 2 legs in the semi-final. Where is the mention of Arsenal Football Club, how we made life difficult in that paragraph, in that chat? Any manager that has had a tough time on their road to a final would mention it. If you'd have come up against an Arsene Wenger's invincible team, a George Graham's dogged team, over 2 legs in a semi-final, this manager would have mentioned it. He would have said they were organised. They had us on the back foot. They caused us all sorts of problems. Our defence was stretched. Whatever. He has not mentioned Arsenal Football Club in a 2-legged semi-final. He's mentioned Liverpool and he's mentioned Aston Villa. That tells you all you need to know, Matty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does that tell you, my brother?
Well, you had this brother Arteta come out and say that we were the best team in the tournament.
Yeah.
But they won the trophy. we were the best team in the tournament, but they're lifting the trophy at the end of it.
Exactly.
I mean, it reeks of the arrogance of this manager. And then you have our fan base yesterday coming out trying to explain this, talking about XG and all of this and
the
money.
XG one more time.
Yeah, all of this crap. The bottom line here is this gentleman navigated his team to 4 trophies this year.
Yeah.
4. And this
100%.
was a proper. We like to throw this term around a lot of our fan base. This was a proper youth project. Regardless of what you think about what they spent to get the players, this was a proper youth project.
Mm.
And people like to laugh too. They go, "Oh, you know, they didn't win with Mbappe, Messi, and everybody else." Yeah, but they won trophies along the way.
Mm. Mm.
Trophies were still going in the cabinet.
It's facts.
You know, so they've got quite a haul. And then you look at now they've got the big one. And I said it yesterday when we were together. This won't be the last one. This will not be the last trophy, a European trophy for them. They're going to win more European trophies.
Oh, they're going to be around. They're going to be around for a long, long time. And this is another thing as well, though, Matt, what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the signings, what Sesson can do for us. I think it's a project. I don't think that he is the man that we need right now. And I still think we need an exciting midfield player. But we've just been talking about the Premier League. We haven't even mentioned going into a Champions League with the squad we've got.
Yeah.
With a Real Madrid team that's got a new manager that's going to be playing exciting football. With a PSG team with their tails up. Inter Milan, you know, all these sort of teams that are in this Champions League. Liverpool.
A revitalized Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be, we're going to see the same Madrid we saw this year, next year? No. Barcelona, they're going to be a year wiser.
Oh, mate. Yeah. 100%.
You look at, I know I keep talking about Dortmund, but Dortmund finished the season great. They look good.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, you know, you don't think Harry Kane's going to now turn his sights, that they're going to start turning their sights to, let's go win a European trophy.
This is what I'm saying. And we haven't won. Our record in Europe as an Arsenal Football Club is abysmal. And people have been saying to me, "Oh yeah, but you know, Tottenham only won. It was only the Europa League. Chelsea, it was only the Conference. Heard it with West Ham. Oh, it's only the Conference League." The fact of the matter is, it's a European trophy. Yeah. Something that this club has fouled many, many times. And we had our biggest chance of getting to that final against an Inter team that probably, from what I saw yesterday, we may have had a chance.
Yeah, we could have stunk out a 1-0, 2-1.
We could have stunk out perhaps a 2-1 or 1-0 against that team yesterday because they looked shot yesterday for some reason or another. But that's taking nothing away from PSG because I thought they was just exceptional. And here we go. Another semi-final. A captain that doesn't show up. A striker we haven't got. And a manager that reverts to long balls, long throw-ins, and no in-game management.
But you see, JB, when I keep bringing up the fact that we're going right back into the season next year with the same team from last year.
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to expect that we've seen this 3 years on the spin, that all of a sudden everything's going to change overnight, and with the same manager.
Yeah.
because you've been following Arsenal a long time, and I brought this up. And Jez is in the chat too. I brought this up the other day on my channel.
Big up the chat.
Historically, when you go down and look through Arsenal's history, Arsenal have taken care of their managers. They've had, years of experience, years in the saddle, on the saddle rather. But they've normally been successful. Most managers that had a lengthy stay at the club that were not successful, what do? They usually resign. 9 times out of 10, they resign, or either they got the sack. One of the two. This brother's been in the job over half a decade. That's how I'm gonna start saying it now. Over half a decade, he's been in the job. And since he's had his own players, not players that were arrived when he was here,
his signings,
because even TT alluded to that last week. His signings. What has he done? He's done absolutely nothing but run up a tab. It's like a bar tab. That's what he's done. Run up a bar tab.
Yeah.
And then you look at the situation that we're faced. When historically Arsenal would have any other decade of this behavior, he would have got the sack a long time ago. This is his team that we're looking at now. This is no longer it's a project. This is what he wants. This is what he signed up for. And this is why I keep continuously say all summer long, this is the same team we've seen for the last 3 to 4 years under this manager.
With no major improvements, Matty.
None, JB. Not one major improvement.
Sorry, man. No, not one. And all we're getting is moments. Man City 5-1.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't say it any better. Moments. That's all we've got is moments.
We're just getting moments. We're just getting the odd Christmas day.
Yeah, you get a
feel good.
You get 2 free kicks. You get a late header. You get a 5-1. You get a we beat Madrid. You get a we pulled it out against Luton Town at the last second. We get those.
Yeah. Moments.
You don't get the memories like PSG got yesterday. You don't get those kind of memories. We don't get the memories that back in 04. We don't get those kind of memories. We just get feel good.
That's all we get. Moments. I remember going to that Man City game earlier in the season, and we came out and everyone was buzzing. The crowds were buzzing, and there was interviews going on, and there was channels being lit up, and everyone was buzzing and singing and coming out the crowds and all that. And I remember one guy saying to me, you don't look very happy. And I went, yeah, I'm happy with the result, but my feet's on the ground. I've seen all this before. I'm not getting carried away, because the next game, watch how we perform.
Yeah.
This I've seen these. This is just a moment in time. This is like when you're looking for some like back in the day, or if ever you've been looking for a new car and you sit in a car and you ain't really got the finances to afford it, but you sit in that car and for that moment you think to yourself, oh, this is nice. I like this. I like the smell, and then you get out of the car and then you walk away from it and you go, it's a pipe dream. It's not really happening. You know what I mean? That's exactly how I was. And then what happened? Newcastle Carabao Cup. We turned up, and if you look at our squad in that Carabao Cup, didn't have many injuries then. Failed to do it, And this is what we're going to get this season, and we need to fix it. We need to fix it big time, and I think we need to make a statement. And I'm with you, Matty, and I've been with you all the time. I think the biggest root cause of this football club. And we can go round and round in circles. And I remember way back when we were saying, I don't want this guy to have any money. I don't want players to come to the club.
Yep.
Because whoever comes to the club, the player will still not improve under this manager. So, I mean,
JB, not to cut across you, but we always talk about it. We always say that about players improving. If you want to see how a player improves, I want everybody to step back and look at what Luis Enrique did with Dembele. Now we all saw what Dembele was over the last couple of years.
Mm.
People was talking about he was washed, he was done injury prone, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, he was washed up, gone. Yeah.
He didn't play us when we played him. He was disciplinary issues. And then you see how he finished.
Yeah.
And then you look over at Odegaard. He's doing the same thing that he's been doing. You look at Martinelli, we go back to Martinelli, same thing he's been doing.
Mm.
You know, Saka's doing okay, but he hadn't go. You're not seeing Doué, you're not seeing this big massive leap. He's kind of
what I call that next level, are you? You're not seeing Saka go from like you're not seeing a world beater, are you?
Yeah,
You're just seeing him level out and just naturally progress.
Havertz, you hadn't seen him pull anything else new out of Havertz.
No.
You know, you look over at Marino, that was an accident.
Mm.
You know, you look at people say, well, who would you say he's improved? Magalhaes was on loan before he came here. He played somewhere else. He got his tools somewhere else.
Mm.
Same with Saliba. Saliba was on loan 2 or 3 times there.
Facts. Yeah.
Timber was good at Ajax. I watched him. He was good at Ajax.
Yeah.
So I knew he was gonna be good. He got injured last year. That's the same thing you would have got before the manager didn't run him into the ground last year. You would have got what you saw this year. But now you got to be concerned about if you're going to see that the same player coming off an injury next year.
Mm.
To be honest, people don't want to face the facts and don't want to hear it. He's made no one better at this football club.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He's taking everybody a step backwards.
Well, look at Saliba now.
Yeah, look at him. You saw it at the end of the year. You see
Look at Saliba. Look at Saliba. World beater. Look comfortable on the ball. Look relaxed. People were bigging him up. Look at him towards the end. Look how he's now. Look at his body language now.
Can't read a ball like that. That's supposed to be one of the easiest things for a defender. Anybody that's played defense, what do you meet the ball at the highest point?
Yeah.
It's basic football.
Exactly.
That's basic football.
Facts.
Ball goes down, play the ball where you face. He's getting spun out. He's getting spun around.
Facts.
These are symptoms, JB, of a team that is lacking the guidance that's needed.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw at the end of the season. When you saw those players, when we finally got to the finish line, those players were done. They were spent. Because this manager, his messaging is not clear. They're not sure what to do in certain situations.
Mm.
You know, we watched that game yesterday. We were a little late starting, but there was one thing that stuck out, and it was an old tactic, man. It was funny to see it pulled off yesterday, because you don't see it. This is something you see. You know, you probably seen it with pickup. You probably seen it with out in the park and stuff like that. What did PSG do when the game first started? They kicked the ball off for a throw in where in their half. Not even let you get sorted out. That's tactical.
Of course it is.
We're not going to let y'all even get started. Get comfortable on the ball. We're going to put you under pressure immediately, right? As soon as the ball come back and play, we're ready to go. I used to do that stuff with my 16-year-old.
But when did you ever? This is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you talk about players improving, like what he's done with Dembele and people like that. I can go closer to home. Look what Crystal Palace has done with Mateta. Look what he's done with him. Eze, Mateta. I can go, Brentford. Look what he's done with Wissa.
Yeah. Cunha. Look over there at Cunha.
Yeah. Embuemo. This is what I'm saying. Embuemo.
After Ivan Toney left, by the way. That was after Ivan Toney left.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. If you look at Embuemo, Wissa, Eze, Mateta was gone. He was finished, washed up. That's why they bought Eddie Nketiah.
Look over there what Eddie Howe doing.
Eddie Howe with what he's done with, is it Joe Linton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even them players. You compare them to likes of Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz. It's just unbelievable. And I've said this all along, Matt, and I don't know what you think about this. I think we've been winging it. I think runners up. I think runners up is a false position for this football club.
JB, I couldn't have said it better. You know what? If you want to take a snapshot of how I feel, going into the next season. I feel like all that was a mask. I felt like it was a mask.
Yeah.
Papering over the cracks. I feel like that was legitimately papering over the cracks. False sense of security. A false sense of security. And when you finish 3 times second place and you don't have anything to show for it, there has to be genuine cause for concern. Yeah, you finish. Okay, cool. We finished at the top of the table there, and you know that's on merit. That's cool. But why are we doing it 3 times in a row and not doing anything? Why? If we finished 3 times second place, we hadn't won a trophy somewhere else during the season? That's what TT was saying. If we've done that, why have we not had a trophy somewhere?
A trophy, Matty. A trophy. This is what TT said. He's not even talking about Champions League. He's not talking about Premiership. He's just talking about a trophy. And I can't believe some of the stick he's been getting from some of the Arsenal fans. This is a legend of the football club, Matty.
They don't care. They don't.
A legend of the football club has been disrespected, and this highlights everything you need to know. When you've got someone like Thierry Henry that's won everything, that's on par with the likes of Zidane and play at R9, Messi and players like that, coming out and in a nice professional way highlighting the problems with this football club and manager, and then you've got a fan base criticising and going against what he's saying, what does that tell you about the protection this man gets at this football club? He's bigger than the football club, Matty, isn't he?
It's like I said, it's a hive mind. And I've started referring to him as the horde. They're like a horde of zombies, of vampires. That's being led by the head vampire, Arteta. The only way you get rid of the vampire is to knock off the head. That's fact.
Facts. You know, that's how you got to look at it. Drive a stake through the heart. Yeah.
Hey, JB, for us old heads in here, we talk dark shadows. We talking Barnabas, you know. For us old heads in here, you know, dark shadows. You know? But that's what you got to do. You got to take the head off. And
he's got to be removed
until he's out of here. That once you remove him, then they will have it. They're all over the place.
Yeah,
it's like they'll be just in limbo. But as long as he's here and he's dropping, you know, marching orders like he did at the end of the year, in that end of the season. Oh, you know, be patient, guys. It's coming. You know, and all these weird stuff.
Can't be here with this patience malarkey.
I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with what TT said. I saw absolutely zero wrong with it.
No, I thought he said it. I thought he said it quite professional, because if you read between the lines, what he's actually saying is,
I got it right here, JB. I got it right here.
FA. That's what he wants to say.
Here it is right here. I got it right here. Pull it up right here.
Yeah.
There was nothing here that
No, exactly. Before I pull this up, guys, big up in the chat. We've got over 160 odd people in the chat. I can't thank you enough. Welcome, everyone. Your comments are blinding. World-class chat. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat. Make sure you sub and smash the likes, because it helps builds the community here, guys. And, yeah, I mean, we've got Matty in the house, who's another real one. Make sure you sub into his channel, Southern Gooner. Make sure you sub in. Yeah, guys, you know, thank you once again, guys. I can't thank you enough. Appreciate it. Let's have a little look at this. Here we go.
It says 3 last years we've been in a situation where we should at least bring a cup.
Yeah.
Or be in a final. See, he even gave what we call leeway, because he said, if you can't win a cup, go to the final.
Yeah.
Just get to the final. Just get there. Let's give us a shot. Let's give us a shot. The finals are 50-50. Most of the time.
Let's have a day out for the fans.
Yeah. You know, I was watching. I think it was yesterday. I seen it during the broadcast yesterday when about LAFC and Club America played last night, and Giroud said the quote was, if I can remember the quote exactly, he said, "It's an important game, and it will be great for the boys to experience that," or something along that line. Because Giroud knows what happens when you get to situations like that. Your mindset starts to change. You start to see things differently. You see, you know, oh, we can get to the final. We've gotten there. Or we can get to a situation where we can win it, you know, put ourselves in a situation.
It's building blocks, Matty, isn't it? It's building blocks.
It's building blocks. It's exactly what it is. We have not had none of our players, and I'm outside of international play, have had an experience of what it's like to actually be playing in a final. And by the way, LAFC won last night, by the way.
Yeah.
So they're going to the Club World Cup. They'll be there.
Wow.
They're in the group with Chelsea, as a matter of fact. They're in the group with Chelsea.
Amazing. And do you know what, as well, on that first paragraph there is just get us to a final. Because anyone that's done any sport of any sort, when you get to a final, if you lose, you learn by your mistakes. You learn by tasting that failure. And it gives you that sort of, we don't want that again. So it makes you even better the next season. I mean, it says Man United have played in 5 finals in their last 5 years. The United that everyone laughs at. Yeah. By the way, the United that has just signed Cunha, by the way, for those that have come in late, release calls, job done, first week into the transfer window, over the line. Meanwhile, we're like a pinball machine with Sesson. Yeah. What do we do? Oh, we'll pay you installments. We'll give you little drips, you know, Klarna settings. Yeah. £117 million profit from the Champions League, but we're stalling over a release calls for Sesson. Not that I want Sesson. Don't want him. I don't want Zubamendi. I don't want Sesson. I want Eze. That's who I want. Go and get Eze. Yeah, go and get me Gorkaris. Then go and get Sesson, perhaps. But no. But anyway. Yeah, all we laugh at, United, everyone laughs at. In the last 3 years of building, Arsenal didn't reach a final. And there it is right there. Manchester United. All like, look at Man United in the mud. Look at Man United in the mud. By the way, they're interested in Sesson as well. And
we know they're looking for a striker, JB. We know that they're going to replace Haaland. That Haaland is not going to be the main man.
They're getting Gorka, isn't they? Because this manager gets on well with Gorka. He's played under him, isn't he?
He's going to get one of them. He's getting one of the two. He's going to get one of the two. And people don't want to face the facts.
No.
Our window is starting to close.
Yeah. Yeah. The year we didn't compete with Liverpool, I don't know what people think. But we didn't compete not once. And that there, Matty, is all you need to know about this season. Because we've had Arsenal faithful turn around and say, and listen, this ain't a young Arsenal fan problem. I've got Arsenal fans of my age that have been going for years and years and years, still worship the ground this manager walks on. And they've seen George Graham. They've seen Arsene Wenger. Yeah? They've seen them.
Let me see if I can find
supporters my age, Matty, has seen great managers and trophies at this football club. And I've got fans saying to me, well, they can't say it now. Go and if you don't like it, go support Spurs.
I got a quote right here.
Because they've won a trophy.
Somebody sent me this. Somebody way up the totem pole sent me this message. Arsenal fan, by the way. He messaged me right at the end of the season. He said, "The incomings this year would dictate Arsenal's season." I responded, "That's what last summer's transfers did." And then he said, "Well, yeah, you're true. He has to get it right next year.
Has to." I don't even give him a year, Matty. I still stick by my Christmas.
I'll give him 15 games. He has 15 games for me.
I still stay by Christmas.
You said
15
games. 15 games. We saw what drop points would do for you this year.
If we ain't eating our turkey and stuffing and we're not top of the league or 2 points off it and we're languishing 5th, 6th, 10, 9, even 9 points off the top, I think he should be gone. Sacked. Finished.
Yeah, it's a known fact. If you drop 12 to 13 draws, which we saw this year, plus you drop. I remember I kept saying all year. You remember JB? I kept saying 9 points.
Mm.
I said we need 9 points. Where's 9 points coming from? Where the 9 points coming from? We need to run of games. We need to go on a run. Kenny kept saying we hadn't had a 5-6 game win streak all year.
Yeah,
We need a win streak. We need something to make up ground. Nope. What did Liverpool do? Lost a few games. They lost after they won the title.
Exactly. And here we are, never in a title race. We was never in a title race. I'm not saying, now this is where he's a bit professional. He is saying, but he had to be a little bit. I'm not saying this season was a disappointment, but deep down he said that tongue in cheek. Deep down he knows it's a disappointment. Yeah. It's normal that people are raising questions now about what the team is doing. We are raising questions. We've been questioning this football club now year in, year out, year in, year out. And the excuses are becoming less and less and less. What's his excuses next season if he gets all the players he wants, if he gets his Sescos and he gets his Zubamendes and everything else? What excuses will he have next season if we're back to square one again?
This is why I want him to get whatever he wants. And this is why, for me, if they get Sesco, they get Sesco. If they get Nico Williams, they get Nico Williams. If they get whoever they get.
Give him everything.
Give him everything you want. If you need 6 goalkeepers, give him 6. He needs 10 left backs, give him 10. whatever he needs to get over the line. Because I'm giving him 15 games. And if we're not in first place leading I'm talking in first place and leading like we were 3 years ago when we were well past everybody else. If we're not in that situation, and challenging on every domestic front. Every domestic front, we challenging. Challenging. I don't want to hear it. It's time to move on. Break glass in case of emergency. Go get a caretaker manager, and we'll discuss whatever needs to be done afterwards. We don't have the time to wait around like we did this year. We could have acted early this year, and probably, as Ola was saying, we could have Operation Save the Cups. We could have probably sacked this manager somewhere in the first half of the season and probably end up bringing in somebody and that could have got us a cup because we were in these cups. The thing that scares me the most about next year, JB, is we're not going to have that luxury. Manchester United is going to be challenging for every single domestic cup that's available because
that's going to be probably at their level, aren't they? I mean, their bar next season, Man United, are probably right. Let's get Cunha in. Let's get a few more players in. Let's pick up a domestic cup. Let's try and get back into Europe. That's going to be their main aim. And they're probably not looking at winning the Premiership, are they, realistically? Their main aim is probably like... Right,
he better hope for his sake. You know what, JB? This manager better hope for his sake that Manchester United don't win the Premier League next year. He better hope for his sake that they don't win it.
Oh, mate. Can you imagine if they did get Gorkarez? Yeah. Can you imagine if they got Cunha, Gorkarez?
Yeah.
And is it... Who are they after as well?
Cunha.
Chesky?
Not Chesky. He's going, I think, City. There's another fella there that they were looking for to go in the midfield.
Yeah. Will you imagine if they get over the line and then they start challenging for the Premiership? I mean, and this manager then has been left behind.
That is a scenario that could play out. After watching Spurs win a trophy this year, nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table happening. This is why towards the end of the year, when you see Palace lift that trophy.
There we are, chat. Thank you, Riku. Reinders and Cherky.
That's City. That's City. Yeah, that's City there.
Yeah, that's City.
So, like I said, I'm sitting here looking, and I'm just trying to figure out, where is it coming from? Because I see more of the same coming next year.
Yeah.
We hadn't even started talking about what Newcastle is building over there.
No. We're not even touched on Newcastle. That'll be another stream. I mean, in weeks to come, chat, what will happen is we'll keep an eye on things going on, and if we feel that we need to do a session, then we'll get guys on. We'll do another session. We'll talk about it even more because this merry-go-round of Arsenal Football Club will keep going and going and going and going. I mean, we need players in the door. We need players in the door.
I mean, let me pull this up right quick here. Let me
I mean, it's just crazy.
Let me save this for you right quick.
And I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna start going on to the Kroenkes at the moment. I've said this all along. No fan's going to be happy with their owners. No fan is going. All fans will want their owners to do things. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, this man is still running the football club.
Look, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this, JB.
Yeah.
Soccer, 6 goals and 10 assists.
Crazy.
That's the whole season. Now, we know he was out for a couple of months.
And he's been out injured.
But before he went out, he was still, the talent was he was leading the assists.
We haven't got one person there that has scored over 10 goals, mate.
You know what? You know, this is the most concerning right here.
Yeah.
Outside of goals, where the assists coming from?
This is why I'm saying we need a creative midfield player. And I've said it all along. This is why Zubimendi coming in is like for like. You're going to see much of the same. Now, you tell me, chat, everyone, tell me, looking at that, looking at the assists, let's look at the assists, just the assists. You can't tell me we don't need someone like a Rodgers, an Eze.
You know what Arteta's done? I can tell you.
Coutinho.
Looking at this, I'm going to tell you what Arteta's done. And
where's that creativity?
I used to say this all the time, JB, on my channel. I used to say this all the time. If anybody's watching me, you heard me mention this phrase. This is what you call the hope strategy. Well, what is the hope strategy, Matt? For those who are new to this, the hope strategy is I hope that Kai Havertz can get me 15 goals. I hope that Leandro Trossard can get me 12 goals. I hope that Martinelli can get 18 goals. I hope Mikel Merino can find a way to get us a bunch of goals. I hope
my friend
can get 20 goals. I hope that Declan Rice can get 10 goals. I hope that Partey can get 4 goals, 5 goals here and there. I hope that Ethan can chip in and give us 7, 9 goals off the bench. I hope that Odegaard can have 22 assists and 10 goals and 12 or 14 goals and 20 assists. I hope that that's what happened. That's the hope strategy. And he's implemented this. And he's tried to replicate what happened that oddball year when we were 8 points clear. And he was hoping that it would come to fruition again. Whereas I keep saying this over and over and over. For me, if I were the manager, just me being the competitive person that I am, had I lost the title in that fashion, I would have went all out, house money, went and got the best available striker. I would have gotten pissed off and said, I'm going to make everybody pay for this right here. We're not going to do this again. It's no different than when Sir Alex Ferguson was embarrassed on the last day of the season and everybody was laughing at United, and to look at that face when they had to walk off that pitch and he had to get them players off the pitch because they did not win the title. What did he do? He turned right up to the door, knocked on Arsenal's door, said, I want Robin Van Persie. And what did they proceed to do the next year? We giving the guard of honor. Arteta's out there giving the guard of honor.
Facts.
That's what you do off the back of a season like that. You don't come back and hope that you can replicate it. You go, I'm going to solve the problem. Whatever it takes to get over the line, we're getting over the line. Whatever it takes to get over the line, that's what we're doing. And instead, what we're doing is he's buying these players, and he keeps buying players. Like you said, Zubimendi. He hopes Zubimendi can come in and give some goal. He's hoping that Sesson comes in. Instead of going out there getting creme de la creme players.
Go shop at the top department store. Harrods, Selfridges. Instead of that, we're shopping in Lidl's again, aren't we?
I'll go for all. Me and you, we old schools. I love dropping these when I get the chance. You over there shopping over at the dollar store where we need to be shopping at Lord and Taylor's. You remember old Lord and Taylor's?
Yeah,
Montours, Riches. We have been shopping at the Pay and Go. The pick and pull.
Pay and go,
Pick and pull.
The dollar store, the pound shop. Yeah.
This is all of the money, and this goes back. See, this is how you have to tie it all in, JB. This goes all the way back to all that money that's been spent.
Yeah.
He's had enough money. If we wanted to buy an actual world-class player, the money has been now available for him. He's had the money. That's why Top Gooner's upset now, running around, don't know what to do, because they're trying to figure out how can we get a world-class player. We spent the money. The money to buy a world-class player.
And this is what we've been saying. If the right thing had been done in the very, very first place, we would have only had to have made certain little tweaks. We could have brought Sesson in. We could have brought Sesson in. He would have been an addition to the quality we already had. Instead of that, we're relying on Sesson to be the quality.
You remember, I've said this.
It's crazy.
We bought Jesus and Zinchenko, and that funded them to go get Holland for the same price, by the way, that Joker's here. For those in the chat, y'all remember that? Y'all remember how much it cost for them to get Holland? It was I think 65 million or something like that. But we paid for Jesus and we paid for Zinchenko. As soon as we paid them for that, they turned around right and went and got Holland.
Yeah. We
do this all the time.
I even go back further. I remember when we got Xhaka instead of Kante.
Yeah, 15. I mean, it was 12. It was 12 million or something on that line. I always bring this one up. Arsene Wenger had first dibs at Radamel Falcao. He didn't want to pay $7 million for him.
No.
And then when he took off, you couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Then you look at Eden Hazard. Yeah. Went to Chelsea for chump change.
What is it when we could have got the Palace player and we ended up with Pepe?
Zaha. Yeah.
And we ended up with Pepe.
If you think about it in retrospect, you're like, okay, why couldn't we have gotten both of them?
Yeah.
Zaha on one side, Pepe on the other one. You'd have had Pepe and Saka on the other one. Zaha over there with Martinelli.
Yeah.
That's decent. That's more formidable.
This is frightening to me, the assists. We all know about the goals. There is no goal scorer.
Ivan Toney was another one. Brother in the chat, Ivan Toney was there for peanuts.
40 million, Ivan Toney.
But this manager's ego was so upset because he said what he said on Twitter that I can't. There's no way I can bring him to the club because then I look like a fool.
Facts. No, it's crazy, man.
This is crazy when you look at these numbers right here.
Where is the creativity coming from? I mean, yeah. And people are going, oh yeah, we do need a striker. We do need a striker. But if you're telling me Zubimendi is going to be the difference in that assists, no.
Hey, and then he was close to buying Mudryk. Shout out to the chat there.
Yeah.
He was that close to spending almost 100 million on Mudryk. Now, could you imagine he spent 100 million on?
Oh no! Well, that tells you all there is to know. He's faith in Martinelli because he went after Mudryk.
That's what Kenny was saying the whole time. Kenny been saying that ever since.
Kenny's been saying it. Aaron, our other brother's been saying it. Yeah. They've all been saying it. All the people that are real, guys. All the people that are real, and you're all real ones in the chat. And big up everyone in the chat, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Welcome to this Sunday afternoon, early evening session. Matty's in the house, Southern Gooner. Make sure you sub to him. It's pinned in the chat. Just make sure you. Yeah, I mean, absolute legend, and everyone else, all the real ones. Make sure that they're all out there. They're all out there. You got Northside, you got Shane, you got Aaron, you got Rashid. Obviously, Lee Gunner, everyone knows about. Top man. All the real ones are in there, guys. If you are not liking the way this club is going, guys, make sure that you sub to all these guys and follow us on. Yeah, and even if you are Arteta in, listen. Everyone's views and everyone's opinions are valid. There's not a problem with it. What we are doing, we're just concerned about our football club. Just like Thierry Henry. We're just concerned about our football club. So, Matty, what players do you think? Let's say the manager's gone. Oh dear. Let's say the manager's gone. we can only sign 3. I honestly believe that we're only going to get 2 players this summer window. I don't think we've got this big chest. I don't think the Kroenkes can wholly trust this manager 100%. I think traps are being set by Berta. I think they're giving him a lot of rope, and I think he could end up, I think he could end up tying himself in knots with it. To be honest, what do you think, Matty? What player realistically? And I'll give you one option, and I'll rate this player highly. I think
somebody in the chat said one already who I was already thinking about.
I think this is someone that we could. I think this is someone that we could have the heads turned, yeah. Because Bayern Munich now apparently are sniffing after this man.
Well, know that. You know what? That's a done. That right there, that'll happen because Sané's leaving. Put one on the other one. Put on just like when they was at Palace, one on one side, one on the other one.
Yeah, but look who he's teaming up with. Another player. Elise,
right? At least say that's what I said. Put one on one side, one on the other.
Look at this. Look at this partnership. Elise, why didn't we just go? What I'm trying to say is, what does this manager look at? He sees Saka and he's going, okay, so if Saka gets suspended, he gets sent off or he gets injured, who have I got? I've got Ranieri coming through the ranks, who, by the way, he doesn't rate, obviously. Otherwise, he'd have had more game time. He'd have dropped the captain. He'd have put Ranieri in there. He'd have developed him even more, and he hasn't done it.
Watch this, JP. You're going to sit back in your chair when I say this. The Elise deal could have got brokered by Thierry Henry because he coached him in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He could have easily got him to the carpet. These are Arsenal. They're Arsenal supporters right here. That would have been an easy deal. Either you could have got Elise, Gyökeres, of course, and as somebody put in the chat just a second ago, Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah,
you can't use Morgan Gibbs White running right out midfield. We need something. We need that. We need somebody to move the ball around. Yeah. We need somebody who can move the ball around.
We need a no fear. We need a no fear attacking midfield player. There
was a picture of Eze and Saka today at the F1, and they were walking together, and everybody was talking. What are they talking about? I said, well, I'm hoping you're trying to convince him to come to Arsenal. That's what I hope. I said, but what I do think is going to happen, I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to really, really make some stomachs turn. If you don't think that Saka is for to start testing the waters and looking around with his other options, if next year don't work out, you are out of your mind because these players ain't going to sit up and put up with this again. What we went through the last 2 years is with these players, they're not going to keep wasting their time here at this football club. They're going to start looking around, seeing what's out there and where they can go. What puts them in the window, the winner trophy. They're not going to just keep sitting here waiting on this man's promises of success and grandeur. It ain't happening. They're not going to do it. Magalhaes, he's getting up in age, so he's like, you know what? I'll resign. We'll see how it goes. I can always go back to the deal.
Saliba's body language is
Saliba is the one.
I reckon January. If he doesn't go in the summer, I reckon January.
January, you'll see a crazy bid come in for him, especially if we're not doing anything. Then that's a possibility. And then, like I've said this before, a lot of these players are going to wait and see what happens next year anyway because they want to see what's going to happen with this manager. Because this is much. Look, Davey, listen. Just as much as we see the situation, these players see it just as well.
They must do, man.
They've got to, JB. They've got to. These are professional athletes. There's no way that you want to go through the hassle of going through all this training, going through all this work, going through all the time that you put in away from your family, and you going through all that, and then just to go out and come away with nothing for consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half your career for most of these players, half of your career.
Yeah. And not only that, Saka don't want to be in a situation like Harry Kane, where he's the legend of the club but wins nothing. And he must listen to his idol Henry, what he's come out with.
So you know what? see, that's something else that people want to face. Those words that came out last week, that was TT basically saying, all right, I'm saying what everybody's thinking in the room, but don't want to say it. And those players, like you said, those players they've heard that.
Yeah, of course they have.
And they're gonna I'm telling you all, if we're not in a situation next year where we're looking like we are legitimately
serious contenders.
Serious, and I'm talking serious. I ain't talking about we close, almost there. Give him this. Let's we just away. No, it's legit. Hey, I see us winning.
Matty, I'm expecting now, if this manager gets all what he wants for how long he's been in charge, I'm expecting by Christmas 8-9 points clear at the top.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at, JB. That's about where I'm at. I'm talking flat.
Anything less than serious questions need to be answered.
Yeah, it needs to be moved on. Because we're at that stage now. Regardless of what Todd Gooner's think. We're at the stage now where if this team is supposed to be so close, supposed to be, we should be 8, 9, 10 points clear of everybody. The same way Liverpool was, we should be able to replicate the same thing. Because this team has been together longer. This team has they've been with the same manager. There's no more excuses. He's brought in whoever he's bringing in, whoever comes through that door that he thinks can get us over the line. He's bringing them in. It's time to get down to business now. Because 100%. There's no way we can keep going through this over and over and over and over and over. This is why I said next year, it's either going to be him or it's going to be Josh. I'm going to put my foot on their throat. One of the two.
Do you think Berta's going to end up the fall guy? Because there's a question here, DJB. Do you think Berta is going to be another Edu? I mean, he seems to be getting his own way, doesn't he? And you know what? Some of the questions that's being asked, Matty, right, is Berta's come in, but again, he seems to be because he's getting Sesko and Zubamendi. People are starting to think. Is Berta got all this clout he says he's going to have? Or do you think he's going to be another yes man under Arteta? Do you think he's going to be like another Edu? I'm hoping he's just he's finding his way into the club.
I think that Berta is probably. I think Berta's probably doing exactly what you said. I think he's setting these traps.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think if he gets really crazy, where if he can't do anything that Arteta has the upper hand on him, he'll walk before that. He'll I don't have to tolerate this. He'll find him a job somewhere else, no problem.
Oh yeah.
I think that because they brought in the best in class, I think that he's going to have the board's ear to this is what I suggest we should do.
Yeah, I
ultimately think that if it comes to where he gets the sack,
he'll be the one pulling the rug. He'll be the one pulling the rug.
But not only that, JB, they'll trust him in the hiring process of the next manager as opposed to
100%.
100%. Could you imagine? Let me paint the picture. Could you imagine if they sacked him last year, the year before last, like we all wanted, and Edu was in charge of looking for. Helping spearhead who the next manager would be?
No.
Ato and all them. Could you imagine who the next manager would be? We'd have Big Bird.
it would be Sesame Street, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be like, oh dear, I know. It'd be Ernie and Burton or everyone at the table, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So when you look at that, bro, it's like that. It's like I said Friday on my channel. I think that what has to happen is because it's a level of professionalism. You've got to come in the door, and the way everything's set up now, the way our club is ran, you can't come in and just tear up everything because nobody really knows what the hell to do anyway.
Yeah.
So if he comes in and just say he fired him, moved this person around, sat this person, got rid of that, it'd be a complete chaos.
So you think he's sort of like playing it cagey? You think he's sort of, just
that's what I think.
Because I'm in the agreement that if this guy says who he says he is, he sits down to Arteta and he says, look, you just get on with things on the pitch.
Yep.
I'm getting Gorkarez. I'm getting a banging midfield player. I'm not getting Zubamendi. This is what we're doing. I've spoke to the hierarchy. Blah 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 blah. That's what I wanted him. That's what I was hoping he would do. But obviously. you know, that's not happening at the moment. And that's why
it's just one of these things. It's like I said before. I've said this Friday. People are upset about this, but realistically, are we winning anything next year anyway? No.
Yeah. No.
We're not probably going to win anything anyway. So what's
No.
the next course of action after that? Let's get rid of that. I'll tell you what, if we bring in Jokeris, and let's say Jokeris comes in, and then let's say we finish in third or second place next year.
Oh yeah.
He's here for another 5 years. He's here again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say we got to semi. Let's say we get to a final with Jokeris. He's here another 5 years. Personally, like I said, if we don't win anything next year and they get him out of here, whatever it takes, I'll bring him. That's where I'm at. Where I'm at with it now. I'm just ready for it to be. I'm ready for it to be done. And I just know that it's going to take time to get, because you bringing in a guy who, this guy's got to come in. We talked about this initially. He's got to come in, look at everything, see how everything's ran. He's got to get a clear understanding of what's what before he pulls the trigger. It's no different than if in a school setting, the administrator comes in, what teachers are performing in the classroom. Oh, who's flunking the classes? Who's doing this? What teachers just riding the coattails of being a tenured teacher that's really not doing anything, just passing everybody, you know.
Exactly.
I'm a college professor. I've seen that as well. And then when they say, "Oh, yeah, it's time to clean it up," you, and you, or they'll probably go to him and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a chance to resign." Yeah,
exactly.
Because Arsenal just how many times you see Arsenal just outside of the old days where they just come in and just flat out fire somebody, dump them out the door. They normally resign, he steps down.
Yeah.
I'm moving on.
Round and round.
Yeah. That's probably what's going to wind up happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he knows he's on thin ice. He knows it. I keep telling everybody, man, he knows he's on thin ice.
The only good thing about Berta as well, though, he's not linked to the club. He owns nothing to the club.
That's what
There's no history. He's got no history. He can turn around and say to the Kroenkes, "Look, I've tried working with this guy. It's impossible. I'm out of here." And he can go and get somewhere else.
Yeah. Worst case
He's
scenario.
not loyal to this club at all. He owes the club nothing.
That's what I said. Worst case scenario, if he gets really, really bad and he sees that there's no path, of anything, then he can walk away. And if he walks away, that will be the worst thing for Arteta. See, that's what I said. He's isolated himself. So basically, now all the spotlight is on everything.
So and the Kroenkes are going to go, "Whoa, hang on a minute. This is a bigger problem than I thought."
This is what I'm saying. So if he turns around and Berta says, "But I'm done with it. I'm walking away." Now we got some serious problems. If you turn around here next year, you don't win anything, they're gonna go, "Oh well, we got some man right here," or you regress from what we were this year. Then imagine you go from second to go to fifth, sixth, seventh.
Yeah.
Now spotlight's on you again. He's put himself in a no-win situation.
Facts, mate. Facts. Oh, here's a question here, Matty. Big up the chat. We're going to go through some of the comments. I've been highlighting some of the comments. Great comments, guys. Really appreciate you being in. Make sure you sub, smash the likes. Matty, what's your expectations for Arsenal in both league and the transfer window? And do you think a storm is heading Arsenal's way? I think you've answered most of that, haven't you, my friend?
I answered. I think next year we're going to finish either fourth or sixth. Between
fourth or sixth.
Yeah, somewhere right around in there.
Yeah.
We won't have the luxury. We won't have the luxury of Manchester City making a meal of it again like they did this year. And then I think what was the other one? The transfer window. We'll probably get maybe 1 to 2 signings at best, maybe one for the future. And then in the Champions League is going to be extremely difficult for us next year.
Yeah,
extremely.
Aaron, our brother, man. Aaron talks Arsenal. Big up, Aaron. Make sure you sub to his channel. The problem with this, though, Matty, is that it's okay saying let's sign Sesko for 80 million and Zubimendi for 130, 150. The problem is, mate, is if Arteta hangs himself after 6 months, then the new manager is
stuck with
yeah.
Watch this though. Watch this. But then he can get rid of Arteta's signings. He can move the other ones out of the way.
Yeah. He can move them out of the way, exactly.
Yeah. Havertz is not protected. See, long as these managers here, Havertz protected.
Yeah, absolutely. If the new manager comes in, Havertz can get bombed out.
This is what I'm saying.
Saudi,
all of that.
Yeah.
All of that. Him bringing in Sesson and Zubi. If the right manager come in, look, I'll tell you what, you have to go no further than that. Look at what Conte did over there with Osimhen. You would have never thought Osimhen coming off the back of last season would have been out of would have got loaned out of Napoli and moved over to Galatasaray or Kvaratskhelia. If the next manager comes in and say, out of here, he's out of here. He's out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've just sent our brother a link, Matty, Aaron, because he's obviously chewing at the bit. He's obviously upset by some of this.
I know it's killing. What it is he's going through what I used to. What is you drive me crazy? And then when I started realizing, when I start looking at certain things, I'm like, okay, all right, it's getting ready to come to an end. And this is Arteta thing is coming to an end. I keep telling folks it's coming to an end. It's not going to go the way we would like for it to go out here, where he comes in and drops the hammer immediately, shift. He's going out, flying out the front door.
Yeah.
We're signing world-class player. We're going to success next year. That's not going to happen like that. It's just that's the case of this guy's got to come in and clean up the crap that Arteta's created over the last several years.
Yeah,
as soon as you get this manager out the door, you'll see players hitting out. They're out of here. We're already in a rebuild. It's just to be another rebuild.
Oh, it's already a rebuild. I've been saying it all the time. All this retool, rejigging, whatever you want to call it, renovation. It's a rebuild. I've been saying it since December. It's a rebuild within a rebuild.
This manager played the Kroenkes like a fiddle because he knew that there's no other place he could get away with this kind of stuff that he's done.
No.
There's no other footballing institution that he could pull this stuff off with.
There's another one. No, sorry, Matt. Big up MD says, will we have players on contract with huge salaries? Not easy to get rid of them. There's another one, Matty. We've got players on huge contracts. My opinion on this is what you say about Saudi football is there's your get out of jail card. At the moment, the Saudi league is a get out of jail card. There is there's always a possibility that we can move names that are kind of out there, if you like. If Havertz, I know he's on big wages, but you could probably get 20 mil, 20, 30, 25 in years to come. There's a possibility we can move some of these on. I wouldn't say domestically though. I mean, how are we going to get rid of the likes of Havertz and people like that, Matty? Other than Saudi,
this
Jesus is the prime example.
This manager, and then you got, in order to get a lot of these players off the payroll, you got to get this manager out of here. You got to get the manager out of here. Once you get this manager out of here, we've seen him move players from what he did over Athletic, and move players for decent money.
Yeah,
we're going to have much as I hate to say this, and I know it's going to drive folks crazy. We're going to have to be patient with this thing and let it play out, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Facts.
Because if it was going to happen overnight, they would have sacked them 2 years ago. But like I said, if you go back in retrospect now, knowing what we know, it's almost a blessing we didn't sack him. Because if we would have sacked him with Edu looking for the next manager, bro, no telling how big of a mess we'd be in. We'd have Captain D's running the ship. Long John Silver.
Oh, mate. It says the best bet for Havertz is Bayer Leverkusen. He ain't flashy enough for Saudi.
That's exactly what I think is probably going to wind up happening, because they're in almost a total rebuild over there, and Ten Hag's going over there.
Yeah.
So my bet is, if it comes to it next year, hey, this ain't working out with Kai. Well, where are we going to send him? Send him back home. Go back home.
Exactly. How did we buy him in the first place, though, mate? I don't even want Havertz. I don't know.
The car boot sale?
Yeah. How have we ended up with this guy? For me, I said it on DJ, he's the sort of guy that, you have a party and you say, yeah, bring a bottle, bring some drink, and he turns up with a case of Coke. You're not going thirsty, but it's going to be hard to have a good time. Do Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Crazy settings, crazy settings. Would either of you be taking Dibbling? Well, you know. Oh man, there's so many players out there. There's so many players out there. I've said Bowen from West Ham, and West Ham fans obviously going to hate me for it, but you know, I'd take a man like Bowen seriously. I really rate him. I think you play him on the right, you can play him down the centre, you can drop him into a 10. You know, it's madness. I mean, Matty, where do you think people say, oh yeah, but who's out there? Who's out there? What managers are out there? Who would come to Arsenal? Who would you take a chance on, Matty? Seriously, if he walked away tomorrow, who would you take a chance on?
I mean, you got I mean, folks don't want to hear it, but Inzaghi's probably going to Saudi now. Now I thought about it, he's probably going to go to Saudi. And I'm just trying to think of who. Allegri was one that was up on my list. He's going to AC Milan. He was supposed to be a washed dinosaur. Thomas Frank, somebody put in the chat. You know, Thomas Frank. I mean, he's gotten a lot of. He's worked with less and got maximum.
I've said this, and people say to me, by the way, Oldham have just won a trophy. They've won the playoff trophy against South.
Oldham won today, so they're going.
Yeah, that must have been some game 3-2. So they're up in the Football League. So bless up Oldham. Commiseration Southend. But yeah, I've said Thomas Frank, right? And people say there's another one, Zidane. If we can convince him,
I mean, that would be like
he would be my number one choice.
Yeah, it would be a dream signing.
Yeah, 100%.
I tell you what, the only reason why why I didn't say Zidane is I could see if Alonso doesn't work out, they'll go back to Zidane because Real Madrid has a tendency to go back to a successful manager. Yeah,
100%. But I said Thomas Frank, and I've had it, and I can understand what people say. Yeah, but the pressure at Brentford, managing Brentford is completely different to managing a team like Arsenal. But I spin it the other way. This manager at the moment hasn't managed anybody. He's not even learned his ropes at a lower league team. He hasn't managed anybody.
Well, that's
so why wouldn't you take when you look at Brentford, what they've done season in, season out, when you look at Thomas Frank, season in, season out, what he's done with Wissa, what he's done with players, what he's done with Ivan Toney, why wouldn't you take a chance on a manager like that?
You know, for me, when I think of Thomas Frank, this is going to sound funny when I say it, but he almost fits the mold of what Wenger was when Wenger came to us initially.
Yeah.
But almost a little bit older, but, you know, he just kind of has that vibe about him, you know, where it's kind of like you feel assured where if he took over, you know, nothing's crazy is going to happen. Nothing's outlandish. Has a decent eye for talent in Toney.
Yeah.
Knows how to make the most out of the situation. They did not have Ivan Toney for most of the season. They still didn't go down. They still, you know, they hung around. You know,
do you think he'd be ready for a big club though, Matty?
I would feel more comfortable with him as opposed to bringing somebody in like Arteta with no experience.
Yeah. His management skills seem good as well, don't they?
Yeah, you know, you look at the situation with Arteta. Arteta came in with absolutely no experience at all, zero, not even failure. Not even failure is experience. And this is why we find ourselves in this conundrum that we're in now. This is why we're in the situation we're in now. All of this goes all the way back to his lack of experience. He's never had the opportunity to fail. He's failing at a club that he should not be failing at. If we would have got somebody before that, Arteta went off the Rangers and did 3-4 years in the hole over at Rangers. And was successful, and then they said we bringing in Arteta. All right, well I can get on board with it, but to bring him in with no experience,
it's madness, isn't it?
At a club like this, no experience,
none.
You come off the street, you were washing cars on Saturday, and you're the CEO of the company on Sunday.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And this is why we're at where we're at. We've got Aaron has joined us. Aaron, the legend, makes Aaron. Aaron, you've been listening, my friend. Big up, man. Thank you for quickly jumping on.
To two superstars of the YouTube.
Oh, man, and the chat as well. Big up the chat. Thank you very much.
The restaurant right quick. I'm listening to y'all.
Yeah, go on, Matty. Go on, Matty. Aaron.
Big up as well for being on the panel, man, with two superstars whose both individual opinions I respect extremely highly.
Oh, big up, my
Ceiling,
friend.
all the way to the ceiling.
Oh, big up, my friend. Thank you very much. No,
always love it, bruv.
Oh, thank you, man. It's been electric. I mean, we've spoken about, we've gone through it all, mate. We've gone through this Sesco thing. I don't know if obviously you was with us earlier.
Yeah.
Manchester United in the mud, can't qualify for any European competition. Worst season they've had in years. The manager's absolutely awful. Players don't want to play for him. And yet Cunha rocks up. Done deal. Over in 2 minutes. Bang. Cross the line. And we're still faffing around with Sesco, bruv. What's going on?
Yeah, mate. Well, do you know what? I don't know why I put myself through this. Well, I sort of do. I was in a Liverpool chat by a content creator called Jamie Phillips. Big up to him. He's a good lad. And yeah, I was watching his content in general, and they're all having an absolute whale of a time. Of course, they are in that chat. They've signed Frimpong to replace, obviously Trent. They've got Kirkes knocking on the door. They've just pretty much announced that 5-year deals all but agreed for Florian Wirtz. They're champions. They're having a whale of a time over there. An absolute whale of a time. Everyone in that chat, I'm telling you, that's what big clubs do. They won the league, and then they're like, right, okay, who's the best number 10 in the world? We need a number 10. Who's one of the best up-and-comings, probably, I should say. Well, he's not far away from establishing himself there, really, either. We'll go get him, 100+ million. All right, we've lost Trent. You maybe not replace him like for like, but in terms of stylistically for Liverpool, they've done really well. And straight away, through the door. So on Kirkes, they're addressing all of their problems. And it's the 1st of June. You know what I mean? They're not just making... That Wirtz reminds me of when Ozil went to Real Madrid. Not when he obviously came to Arsenal, because that was a sort of the downturn for him. But when Ozil went to Real Madrid, that was a big, big, big transfer. And he was excellent at Real Madrid. Ronaldo was pissed off when they let him go. That's everything you need to know. But yeah, the point I was sort of angling at making there is all of these other fans, and even the Manchester United fans, they're like, oh, sweet, well, yeah, we're getting Cunha. Everyone else is happy bar us. We're the ones that need to, more than anything, by the way. We're the ones that need to be going out and putting a stamp on things and going and getting
more than any other club. More than any other club.
We're caught napping again. We're caught sleeping at the wheel. It's only a matter of time before we drive that car into the tree. And that's where Mikel Arteta, obviously, I mean, hypothetical, by the way. Hopefully he drives, is Arsenal career into a wall. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm saying not him, obviously, but the analogy's solid. I'm done with this geezer. I've been done with him. We've all been done with him for a long time. But this, it gives me the ump, and obviously it was no one's opinions about the Bert thing. It's just
that's
my frustrations are only.
I know what you're thinking of Berta, and me and Matty. Sorry, my friend. Me and Matty have got our opinions on Berta. We think that he's not going too hard. We think he's going to see how it goes. We think, okay, give him what he wants, and then he's got the tools and the ammo to turn around to the Kroenkes and go, right, he's effing had, he's had this, he's had that, blah 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 blah. I'm pulling the rug. It's time to go.
I will also ask the question.
You look at it different.
I get that there are comebacks, and I agree with some of them. It's not like a set in stone comment. I'm just asking the question. Why can't Berto, who's now officially on the payroll of Arsenal Football Club, why can't he do that? Maybe not come in and sack him, maybe not, but why can't he just go, no. He's been lined up to join Arsenal for months. He's got a shopping list. He's been working. He knows. He's also been a director of football at Atletico Madrid. He knows what players out there that he wanted either from Madrid or his next club. Let's get that right. He's got transfers waiting,
Yeah.
So it's not like he's just rolled into a job and just gone, all right, well, I've got to learn the ropes here. He's got plans. He's got strategies put in place, So my question is, why can't he just go in and just say, all right, no, actually, Mikel Arteta, that's very cute that you want Sesco, but no, it's not good for the long term of this football club. Not just for you, Mikel Arteta, for this football club. We need to be making signings for this football club,
Yeah.
not just Arteta, who, by the way, is skating on thin ice. He is. I mean, he was skating on thin ice about 3-4 years ago for us. Some of us didn't even want him to put the skates on. And you know what I mean? Let's get that absolutely right. But I'm just thinking, why can't he? He's paid. He's got the CV. He's a big boy. You know what I mean? He's been there and done it, you know, in terms of this sort of position that he holds. He's an older head. He's got respect. He's got authority. Why can't he come in and just go, no, you ain't having him. Look at your history. Because Berta, like all of us, we have also got 5 years history of Mikel Arteta signings. That's what we've all got, like Berta has. Why can't he just step in and just go, no, Mikel, your talent ID is clearly not good enough. Now look at my talent ID and let's compare. So if we bring this to the Kroenkes and go, yeah, look at the players I've signed, look at the players Mikel Arteta signed. Kroenke, who do you want to sign off on deals? Me, who is bought Rodri's and, you know, Griezmann's and Suarez's, and I mean, you could probably list the names. You know, you could go on forever. What's he done? Signed Rice, signed Timber, Gabriel. ...
That's about it.
You know what I mean? Like, so you know, if you was to put that to an owner and go, okay, here's my CV, here's Mikel's. Who do you want to listen to?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't put it past me if Kroenke listened to Arteta, but that's, if you're paying the man to do a job, do it on the day one. Do you know what I mean? Like,
do it. Come in and hit the ground running and just sort of say like blah 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 blah. But this is what worries me. This is what worries me though, Matty. I mean, what Aaron's just said there. I mean, you know, you can't. You have to question, why can't he do this? Why ain't he doing that? Why is he not doing that? Yeah. So it begs the question: is Arteta still the main man in charge, like of all the signings? It looks as if he's still pulling all the strings.
We all knew that they were not going to get rid of him anyway this year, and I am the chief. I am driving the Arteta out tank, and even I had to come to the realization they were not going to sack this man. Going into this season. But I think they're prepared to make a move on him next season based off of the failures that he's had the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. I agree with you with the manager there, Matty, but the players, he can definitely put a stop to them players.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, when we first started, I don't know if you tuned in, caught the first part of the show when we tuned in. We brought up about, was it Manchester United's in for him, Sesson. And I said, well, I hope that's true, because I said maybe Berta's throwing a monkey wrench into that plan.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a signature that gets signed on the paper.
One sec, please.
Yep, and he goes, "Ooh, well, somebody didn't sign off on this."
Yeah, yeah, facts.
But facts. we do have Jokeris available. I'm hoping that, you know, we get one of those. You know,
exactly. Do you know another thing though, guys? I personally don't think there's that much money available.
Well, we brought it up this season. That Moreno and Calafiore, which is why I think he kickstarted a lot of this, because that money was allotted for supposed
wasted.
To be it was supposed to be allotted for a striker.
Yeah,
and I think like I told you, I think he pulled the fleece over everybody. Called himself trying to be slick, going, "Oh, we can get both of these two, and I can get Sterling, and it's free. Sterling is free, and he still solves the attacking problem."
Yeah. And it's funny, though, how Sterling got over the line ASAP, yet we're stalling on someone like Sesson.
Yep.
And make it make sense. I just can't see how that can happen. How we can get these players in like Sterling, you know, and yet we're stalling over like the likes of Sesson and all that. But I think this Moreno and Calafiore signings will come back to haunt us. I honestly don't think the money is there. Because we heard it, didn't we, guys? Oh, there's going to be this war chest. There's going to be all these millions of pounds. It's going to be unlimited. And I've said it, and I'll stick by it. I reckon we're going to make 2 signings and we'll get a loan right on deadline day. And
that means that our window's done then.
That is my prediction.
Zubamendi, Sesson. Yep. There you go. Yeah. Job done. Yeah. Do you know what the worrying thing is? If we do get
and the goalkeeper, because Neto just left. We got to get a goalkeeper. Neto just left.
Yeah. You know, like I'd ideally go for like a Kasper Schmeichel-esque sort of signing. Do you know what I mean? There's no point for me, and unless you're going to change Raya and sell Raya, I'd be getting him just an older head. You know what I mean? Just an
What about
experienced-
the ex-Man United goalkeeper?
Oh,
Do you think he'd
100%.
washed up, or do you think you'd have had him?
Yeah, I'd have had him just for a backup. I mean, Mikel Arteta don't rotate the outfield players. He's definitely not going to rotate the goalkeeper, is he? We've seen
No.
it. Look at the shower of so-and-so
No.
that he done with Ramsdale. It just
No.
don't work.
No.
You know what I mean? No other clubs do it with a
So
goalkeeper.
that'd be our loan
We
signing,
tried
the goalkeeper. You watch.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
our loan signing.
Yes, it's madness. But you know, the point I'm going to say about Sesko again is, sorry to keep it sort of all of
No, go on,
Sesko,
man.
is I genuinely think that if we do make this signing, it's going to be for high money, regardless of what the fee is that next summer, if it all doesn't work out or he gets his 13, 14 league goals like he's probably projected to, because that's his goal scoring average over the next 3 seasons, we ain't getting another 100 and so million to go and sign an Isak. They're just going to go, well, look, we've given you 200 million now, and what you've done is you've spent it on Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and you've spent it on Sesko. There'll be, by the way, Kai Havertz and Jesus are on 545k a week, and you best believe Sesko is going to be signing for about 250k. Do the math in your head. That's 800k a week on them three. 200 million spent on that forward line, or the front three, your strikers, or whatever you want to say it. But 800k a week, 3.2 million a month, 200 million spent, and none of them can get 14 league goals. Madness. That's what I mean, and it doesn't just handcuff us for next season. It handcuffs handcuffs us for the season after, because we're just not going to sign 2 mega strikers in 2 windows. I don't know. It's just we're just in a right mess, and I'm trying to look for ways and reasons how to settle my brain, but every time I think,
as I tell folks, stop worrying about it.
Yeah,
because the manager he's continually to make a fool of himself, and after a while, you'll look up and you're gonna start. This year's gonna be a changing of the. You asked me this earlier today when we was on the phone, JB. Things are gonna start turning when people look at that table and see we sitting down in 4th, 5th place.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Guys, smash the likes. Make sure you sub. Make sure you sub to Aaron's. Make sure you sub to Matty. Come on, man. Bless up everyone in the chat. It's 100%, 100%. And you know what? Another thing as well, though, guys, is we were saying it earlier. These teams are strengthening all around us. All around us, they're strengthening. You know, and 5, he's going to go 6 years in now, this manager. 6 years in. And we still haven't got, probably apart from the centre halves, I'd say the right back, there's not a department in that team that you can actually say is complete. Where in that team are we complete on coming off the bench and actually our starting 11? Where are we complete?
I only believe in one position, and that'd be right back. They've got pretty solid options there. You know, Ben White seems to be the more sellable one of the two, if you had to. But I reckon if they were to go and be our right backs next season, I've got no issues with that. That's not a bad sort of set of options there for me, really. But I mean, other than that, it's poor everywhere you go. And it's not just we went through a stage where it was like, oh, you know, we got a good first 11, but you know, the ones that are coming on just ain't good enough. Now our first 11 ain't good enough. And the ones that are coming on are even worse. Look at Martinelli. What's happened to that geezer for the last 2 years? And then whoever's coming on for him is worse than him, and he's not even good enough to be in the first team anymore. You know, you can do that every way around the pitch, everywhere. If Partey gets injured or Declan Rice, you've got Jorginho, or will be Lokonga now coming on. Do you know what I mean? If Gabriel Magalhaes, you get Kivior.
We've still got players we've not got rid of. We've still got Lokonga, haven't we, coming back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They extended his deal for another year, so he will be the Jorginho replacement. By the way, said this on my morning show about a week ago. That's what
just get your head around that. Sambi Lokonga, guys, will be wearing the new Arsenal shirt next season. Come on, people are forgetting we've still got these players hanging around.
You know why? Because last year Edu loaned him out instead of putting just taking whatever you could get for him. That's why you stuck with him again. Whereas when Nuno went out, Nuno Tavares, he had a loan with obligation to buy.
Yeah.
That's why he's coming back.
Man like Lokonga. I mean, we've still got Fabio Vieira as well.
That's the creative midfielder right there. Yeah, that's the creative midfielder coming in right there.
Yeah, Fabio Vieira. I mean, Vitinha cost what, 30 mil? And we went and got Fabio Vieira for 35 or something, 40 million.
Yeah.
And we all saw what Vitinha was doing in the Champions League final, ladies and gentlemen.
What does that come back to, DJB? Talent ID. He knew that there was a midfielder in Porto. He just chose the wrong one. Just like he did at Real Sociedad. Madness.
And then, Aaron, think about this too. JB, let's go back. Let's go back to Lukonga. Look, this is why it's important to get a manager when you first, like in your career, when you first get somewhere, have somebody that knows what they're doing. This manager is absolutely destroyed, that young man. He'll never be whatever he was before he got there. He'll never be that again because this manager completely ruined it. This is why when we was on the other day and we talked about Max Diamond, this is a classic example of why I said Max Diamond doesn't need to be anywhere near this manager until this situation sorted out.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Ethan too. Yeah. The problem, what we've essentially done is this manager has taken this team right back to 2018, 2019, 2020.
Oh, facts.
Yep. The circle's complete, Matt.
Yep. And so the only thing we could best hope for, getting to year 6, as JB stated, nah, y'all want to keep going through this? Keep him here. We're going to keep going through it. Get him out the door, and then we start looking at offers, start taking offers. At this stage, you have to take whatever's available, whatever you want. Y'all come in, we listening to offers. No player is safe. We taking all offers. And we're going to bring in a manager, whoever that manager is. That manager's going to come in. We're going to give you what's left over from the players we're selling. Havertz is probably going to still be here. This is how you solve the Havertz problem, Aaron. You simply say, if the new manager comes in, he says, if you want to be at this football club, let me rephrase it. He'll come in. You're not in my plans. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go start looking for somewhere else that you might want to go, but you're not in my plan. If you do not leave this football club, we're sending you down to the U20.
Do you know what? That's facts, mate. But do you know what the worrying thing about Havertz is whose plans is he going to be in? Do you know what I mean? That's how poor he is.
Send him back to Leverkusen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good shout. Yeah.
Send him back home.
Yeah.
He's protected. Loan with obligation to buy.
Loan with an obligation to buy back at Leverkusen.
How much did we get for him, boys?
Oh, more than
20,
I reckon if we sold him right now,
31?
30, 35. That's a 30 odd million loss if we sold him right now. I mean, you still got to remember, Jesus was still ganging around at the club, 200 odd grand a week.
Yeah, you got to sell him when he's healthy. As soon as he gets healthy, he needs to be moved out.
Yeah.
You can't risk him getting injured again. You got to hurry up and sell him. As soon as he gets healthy, you got to sell immediately. Get him out the door.
Yeah. Well, he's back to fitness, nice and timely for the winter window. So, yeah.
Oh, Kane's on a buyout. Kane's buyout clause is in January. Harry Kane. Just throwing it out there, chat. Just throwing it out there. But at the end of the day as well, people are going on about Max Dowman, and I've seen quite a bit of Max Dowman. This kid has it all. He has got it all, right? And apparently there's rumours that he's going to be training with the first team, etc., etc., etc. But really, listen, Skelly was another player he discovered by default. I still think Skelly, if he wants to improve his career, should be a midfield player. I think Skelly could be turned into that attacking midfield player that we need. I think if you had Skelly under a different manager, he'd be playing central midfield, attacking, getting the ball, driving forward, making things happen. That's what I think Skelly's strengths are, not left back. I think Skelly's there by default left back. But by the way, I'm glad he is there because the other two are absolutely shocking. So big up for Skelly. But what I'm trying to say is, Wanyeri on the other end, what's going to happen to him next? Where can you see Wanyeri going next season? I reckon he's going to be loaned out, personally. I don't think he can get the best out of him, this manager. I think there's things in Wanyeri's play that the manager don't like. Off the ball, Kenny Ken said it. He thinks he's lazy, but then he's a young player. Can't you develop the other side of his game? Where do you think Wanyeri's going to be heading up, Matty?
I think he's going to be on loan. if I had to loan him out, Dortmund, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Everton,
Yeah. Brentford.
Brentford,
I like the Germany idea.
Leeds. I try to get him somewhere where he's going to get active game time.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the Germany idea. To be fair, I reckon he'd do really well over there.
Send him over there to Red Bull.
Dortmund would be a good place for him to develop, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because I honestly can't see this guy getting much game time next season. I really can't. And that brings me on to Max Dowman. I mean, what's Max Dowman going to do? Because if you're an agent of Max Dowman with that talent, this kid's got it all. And you're thinking, right, realistically, what game time is he going to get once he's established and he gets in now? How's he going to get in the team? He ain't going to get in the team. And if he does get in the team, is this manager really going to develop him?
JB, let me break it down for you. Make it real easy for you. The team he's going to get, the time he's going to get in the first team is going to be under an hour for the entire season of football. That's not good enough for a player at 15 years old that's developing. He needs to be loaned out as well.
Crazy.
And people need to, and the egals of the world, people like that need to stop getting so overly emotional when it comes to rational thinking, when it comes to a player that's 15 that's developing. That 15-year-old is not coming into this team. Messi wasn't even in Barcelona's team at 15.
No.
So no, he can. Arteta can come out here talking about he's going to be in the training with the first team. Training and playing active time is two different things. He needs to be out somewhere where he can get the best learning experience possible around. Actively a good experience. And playing under this manager in a pressure year where he needs to get wins is not nope, that's not fair to that young man.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what? As well, can I follow on just a couple of things of what Matty quite rightly was saying there?
Go on, man.
Always, spitting facts as always, Matty, man. We've got to remember as well, we've got a captain that plays in the same position as these players, as in Ranieri and, of course, Max Dowman, thereabouts. He's the most sub player at Arsenal, the most sub captain we've ever had. And Ranieri don't even get subbed on for him. So there's opportunities for a number 10 to come on because the captain's pretty much subbed every single game. I think he was subbed 25 times this year. And he missed 7 Premier League games, by the way, with injury.
Crazy, isn't it?
Probably, 85% of the games he's subbed in.
And the thing is...
And he's still not giving the youngsters in the same position a chance. So
Exactly. And we've got a manager, again, that's obsessed by this man. He won't drop him. He's undroppable. He's been stinker after stinker after stinker, and yet he won't drop him. There's opportunities there where he could have took him out the firing line, taken him off, given Ranieri a chance, given him a run, but he just won't do it. And this is what worries me with this guy. He just doesn't try anything different. He's not prepared to try anything different. He's just prepared to stick to the same thing, week in, week out, same system, week in, week out, and it's tiring, man. It's really tiring.
Do you know what as well, DJB? Yeah, I think he missed a trick as well, Arteta, in terms of he could have killed 2 birds with 1 stone in that he could have took Martin Odegaard out the firing line a little bit and given Ethan Ranieri minutes at the same time, but he chose to do none of that. No, he just kept playing Martin Odegaard and watching him struggle. Oh, by the way, Martin Odegaard got 5 GA in his last 6-7 games. What happened on the 7th game? Oh yeah, Liverpool mathematically won the league. And now Odegaard starts, we weren't even playing that good, but he starts chipping in and making a couple of passes. That's madness, isn't it? When the pressure's off, when it don't really matter anymore. When the teams are all on the beach, Martin Odegaard decides he's going to chip in with a couple of assists. Madness.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, mate.
But
no,
from Christmas to them games, he had two in the league. 2. Yeah. When it matters.
No, we just... it is madness, guys, and as I said, I'm just hoping. I'm just really, really hoping that signings come in, and obviously we just all want the best for the football club. But it's depressing, mate, because when you hear this Man United worst season they've had in decades, signing players, Liverpool signing players, Everton linked with players, Newcastle, you see all these signings all around these teams, and here we are. You know what I mean? First day transfer window, still stuttering and offering monthly installments, and it's just madness. It really is crazy. Matty, Aaron, what do you think? So I'm just going to go through the players. Most improved player this season, my friend. Aaron.
Well, improved, I suppose you can't really give it to Miles Lewis Skelly, because I mean, even though his improvement probably in terms of development as a footballer has been really good, but you mean in most improved as in a reference from last season?
Yeah, just most improved player this season. Do you think? Who would you think's really kind of improved? I mean, I would say Timber or Raya out of Timber or Raya, but
well, I mean, I probably wouldn't say Timber, only because he was out injured most of last season, wasn't he? So David Raya is probably a good shout. Actually, I was going to say Gabriel Magalhaes, because I believe that he built on his season before that, and then for me, he's eclipsed Saliba. So
yeah.
I think that's worth noting. But I'm actually with you there. The Raya,
Yeah,
the
Matty,
Raya one, yeah.
would you go with Raya?
Most improved?
Yeah, naturally, not by this manager. The one that's had a good season.
Yeah, I'd say he had a decent season outside of it.
Yeah.
You know, coming down the stretch there, you know, he was losing his mind there, but that was all by design of the gaffer.
Yeah.
I would say him. You know, and that's about it, because Timber was already decent to me anyway.
We're struggling, aren't we, guys?
Magalhaes was already decent. I mean, you could say Magalhaes was improved considering
we're struggling.
He came into his own this year.
Yeah.
And my point is, if you was to ask the same question to Liverpool fan, he'd go Graven. There'd be arguments. Oh,
Yeah.
Gravenberch, Diaz. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all in agreement with kind of Raya, one player. There's no sort of like heavy confrontation. That just proves where we are, guys. Because if you asked, as I said, if there was a Liverpool fan and you'd say most improved player, they'd be having like standoffs. They'd name 3 or 4, 5, 6 players. We're struggling with one, and that's a goalkeeper.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
No outfield player. And this is where we are with this football club, you know, and it's worrying, guys. It's worrying, guys. But big up the chat, guys. Big up the chat. Make sure you sub. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you sub to these guys. Aaron, thanks for jumping on, mate, and giving a little Sir Swan song there, my friend. I know you're. I know you're. Hey?
I feel a little bit better now. I let some steam off, to be fair.
Yeah, no, mate. I could feel it. I thought, I'll get my man Aaron on. He can give off steam, and then he can go and do his thing, and then do whatever you got to do, my friend. And Matty, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend, as always. And
right up here, man.
Yeah, make sure, honestly, absolute legends, my friend. Absolute legends, my friend. So we're just going to round it off, but hopefully we will do some more. Matty, what you got coming up, my friend? Anything?
Yeah, I'm going. If the Elche game is still on, I'm gonna try to go hop over here with Lee, watch the Elche game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's on, is it? Excellent. And then I think we're meeting. Have we got the Monday night with Lee tomorrow?
No, I think we're off for the year.
Are we off for the year? Have we? There's no Rat Army tomorrow. Okay, mate. No. Yeah, no. Big up, Matty. Thanks for hopping on as always. For coming on. Much appreciated. Big up the chat, all the comments, your support, everything, guys. Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. Do appreciate it. Aaron, legend, mate. I know your channel's doing really, really well and flying, and rightly so, man. Rightly so. You know, there's some good content you put out, my friend. What you got coming up?
Yeah, we got the Monday night thing, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, the OGs. The OGs,
Matty, if you're stuck with something to do, my friend, because you know your Monday thing release cancelled, you're always automatically welcome at any stage. You want to come in for 5 minutes, you're always welcome. You want to come on for 5 hours, you're always welcome. You know that, Matty, man. So yeah, if you want to jump by, just ask for the link whenever you want, man, and it'll be there in seconds, my friend. But yeah. Other than that, I'm going to do a little morning thing tomorrow as well, 9:30.
Yeah, check in on your way to work. Morning breakfast show, morning show with Aaron. Always I do often listen to it actually when I'm on my way. Here he is now, you know, spurting out the facts as always. Now we've covered a lot, man. We've covered a lot. It is frustrating. I suppose it's a case of just watch this space, guys. Watch this space. every day with Arsenal is news, isn't it? Are we signing this one? Linked with this one? Offer on the table, medical happening, and then a couple of days later, it's like, well, has he had his medical? Is he coming to the club? Are we getting this one? We've been here before, guys, time and time and time again. We are stuck with the same manager. We're going to have to get behind him, unfortunately, when we go and watch the games. I mean, I still go and watch the games. Aaron still goes and watches the games. Obviously, Matty watches the games from where he is. And, we're just going to have to see how it goes. But it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be hard work. But, well, hopefully we'll cover. Make sure that you sub to everyone. They're all real. And go on, Aaron. What are you going to say, my friend?
I was going to say as well, let's not forget your channel, my friend. Which is the most least surprising thing I've ever seen in my life, that it's taken off rapidly. I'm buzzing for you, mate. And I know you was a little bit unsure. I was never in doubt, mate.
Legend.
You're DJB geezer, of course, man. You look. It's not just the fact that you've been on YouTube for X, Y, Z amount. It's the fact that you've got 50 years in the tank of watching this.
Oh, man, honestly.
That's what it's all about, man. The YouTube
that's going
experience,
to segue me.
50 years.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's 50 years is a long time. I've been through it, but that's segue me in, because this guy, Matty, this guy here, if I hadn't have popped up on his channel, I would have never be where I am now. So I honestly, Matty, I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity. And then Lee Gunner's taking it on from now. Aaron's helped me. Jez with his history channel. Big up, Jez. Kenny's been my right-hand man on a lot of the channels. Yeah, man, it's just been brilliant. And I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Listen, I'm just a fan, guys. Like everyone else in the chat, I'm just a football fan. Normal guy, just wants the best for this football team. Respect every single football team in the land. Respect every single fan. Because as Aaron would know and everyone would know, it's hard work being a fan. It's hard work following a football club. You sacrifice a lot of time. You sacrifice a lot of, hours. You sacrifice a lot of, work. You jig around work, finances,
family.
You give up family. You give up. I mean, over the years, guys, I've given up christenings. I've given up birthday parties to be at certain football matches, and it's caused all sorts of problems. Trust me. So when people say to me, oh, you're always negative, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I am negative because there's nothing to cheer about at the moment. So I am negative. I'll give you that. But I've got a right to be negative. I've spent thousands on this football club. I've followed them over land and sea. I've got a right to have a say. Like Thierry Henry has, and people like that who's played for this great club and done brilliant things with this great club, I have a right to say what I think this club is. And I'm sorry, but the manager is past his sell-by date.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
Yeah.
He's past it.
Mouldy, that's how far.
He's run out of ideas.
Yeah.
He's run out of talent. He's run out of in-game management ideas. He's got stale. And do you know what I'm going to say here, guys, before we close? I personally think the players, if you was to bump into them, I'm just putting it out there. If you was to just bump into players of Arsenal and go, look, between you and me, this ain't going to go any further. How are you at the football club at the moment? Are you really 100% happy? I bet you any money, half of them would turn around and go, well, actually, I'm getting a bit bored.
Yeah, they'd say that to their family members, wouldn't they?
I'm getting a bit fed up.
Yeah.
If you asked every single player from that football club, they'd probably turn around and say, well, unless things happen, unless things change, I'm getting a bit, I'm a bit fed up with the way he's playing at the moment. I want to be able to do this and I want to be able to do that, but I'm not allowed to. And that's where I think the players are at. I think their body language will tell you everything you need to know at the final game, when the only player that was clapping that manager when he was announced was Kieran Tierney. And that was
I'll say this before we go too. It was somebody mentioned it, but somebody just sent it to me. Looks like old Thomas Franks might be going to Spurs.
Ah, there you go. Do you know what? Wow. Can you imagine? Do you know what? Listen. People will know me in the chat that I bang on about Thomas Frank. I've got all the time in the world for Thomas Frank, and wherever that man goes, I wish him the very, very best, even if he does end up at Spurs.
Spurs are moving bigger than us. They are.
Spurs are moving bigger than us. This is a manager, guys. This is a manager that has won them their first trophy in years and years and years, giving them the best day out those fans have ever had. And the club has turned around and gone, do you know what? You've lost 22 league games. You're sacked.
Yeah.
And they're moving to Thomas Frank. If that's true, guys, that tells you everything you need to know about Arsenal Football Club. This is Spurs, guys.
And they better not win a trophy next year. And they better not win this Super Cup.
Yeah.
If they win that Super Cup, boy, man.
Mate, do you know what they'll do? They'll eclipse our
Big
soon to be 140-year European pedigree in 3 months if they do, by the way. Swallow that, ladies and gentlemen. Swallow that. They'll equal our 139-year history in Europe.
Unbelievable.
3 months.
Unbelievable.
Madness. We've got to hope that
Make
don't
it
happen,
make
boys.
sense. Why are we sticking with this manager? Why haven't we turned around and said, time to move? And this is why I think the narrative and the tide's going to turn in the way of the Kroenkes. I know me and Matty have sort of said, well, look, you know, the Kroenkes have given him this, the Kroenkes have given him that. But I will start to get frustrated with them why they're not growing a pair and saying to this man, look, sorry, but the ones down the road have just won a trophy and they're looking at changing their manager. And here we are sticking with you and you ain't done nothing.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? When's the time going to come when we're going to actually turn around and say, when the Kroenkes are going to turn around and say, look, see ya, sling your hook, get out, go. Here's the money.
Next year,
we'll sacrifice a signing to pay you off. See you later.
This is why I call next year the cast off, not the cast off, but the crash out. Next year will be dubbed the crash out. Isle of Patmos settings, revelation. The seals will be open, and all will be revealed.
Yeah.
And we still gotta wait on Edu's his I can't what you call it now. What soliloquy, whatever he's coming out with on this manager. So it's next year's gonna be peak next year. It's gonna be peak. Just be patient.
How long do you give him? How long do you give him, Aaron?
I told you. I said 15 games.
I said Christmas. How long do you think he'd be here for the whole year, no matter what, Aaron?
I mean, like the most word I detest in the dictionary is hopefully. Why do we always have to hope? Hopefully he is gone. But I can just,
hope FC, innit?
Oh, it drives me mad because you're not in control of it when you hope. You're not in control, innit? You're just praying and wishing on something else.
You heard what I said about the hope strategy earlier. That's what
no,
I was talking about.
I didn't. No. Go on.
Is it
in depth?
Go on, tell him, mate.
I was telling him, you know, I coined this a couple of years back. I don't say it as much as I used to, but with Arteta, you know, he has this thing called the hope strategy, man. He hopes that Martinelli can score 15 goals. He hopes that Trossard can score 20 goals. He hopes that this player can score goals. He hopes. And that hope strategy is what do you in. In this case, and we'll flip it back over to this manager. In this case, you just sit back and just watch because he just keeps stepping in it more and more and more.
Facts.
And I think, like I told JB, Sesco comes in, he's still under pressure. He can bring whoever you want to bring in, the pressure's still there. Yeah. End of the year, hadn't won anything, pressure's definitely still there. He's been isolated. He has nowhere to turn.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
I reckon, in terms of what will get him sacked, is I reckon if he starts getting like 7 points plus away from the leaders with even games played, I mean that's when you've surely got to pull the
we got 17 days to the schedule come out. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah. Do you know what I can't wait for? Cutting in, guys. I can't wait for the season's fixtures to come out.
That's 17 days.
Yeah, 17 days. Yeah.
Because if Yeah, I was going to say, Matty, because can you imagine if we have our first game of the season is like Man City away, then we have like an Aston Villa at home, then we have Liverpool away, then we have a North London derby. Do you know what I mean? Then we'll have like Man United.
Or JB, we end up with a North London derby around Christmas time. The Christmas
festival. Yeah. You imagine if we have our first 8 fixtures and 6 of those fixtures are the top 6, all away or at home. We could be going into sort of September, October. We could be going into autumn, sort of like near on the bottom of the league. You imagine that. Imagine the pressure on him then.
And you got to factor in, like it's always 2 or 3 teams. Leagues coming up. We was having leagues when
they got some good players. They got some ballers. Leeds United. That's going to be a tough play, and that's always tough to go Ellen Road.
Burnley's back up. We have trouble going over the Turf Moor, regardless of the idea.
Yeah.
So they gave up 14 goals last year.
Sunderland, massive club.
Yeah, Sunderland. They're
going to Sunderland on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, mate. The 3 that are coming up are significantly better than the 3 that are going down, and I think that's the point you're saying, Matty, isn't it? Yeah. So even them fixtures are going to be difficult. And Aaron, history says to us, the lower teams we don't do well against.
Aaron, you're spot on, my friend, because these teams that are coming up have got money to spend. They're going to strengthen in their own sort of way, if you like. Yeah, they're not going to go out and get 89. Well, I don't know about Leeds. They've probably got the money, but realistically, they're not going to go and spend 80, 90 million on a player. But they will find gems. They will find good players. They will find players from lower leagues that are going to do them a job. And they've got big, massive fan bases, and they're intimidating places to go. You go Sunderland, you go to Leeds and places like that. They're intimidating. They're hard to go and get results at. And this manager has proven, when he does go to intimidating places with games like that, he can't get over the line.
Yeah.
So next season's going to be even harder, guys. It ain't going to be like an Ipswich or a Southampton.
I saw that right here. This rumor, I saw that this weekend. I saw it.
Leeds are looking at Marino. There you go.
Leeds are moving bigger than us.
Look what Leeds United. Look what that manager's done at Leeds United.
Think about it. Leeds. See, a lot of the youngsters in the chat don't understand how big of a club Leeds used to be.
Massive.
Well, they still are about it. Before anybody try to say, "Oh, he's talking," no. They used to. They are a big club, and when they went down last time, that hurt them, and then they tried to come back.
Yeah,
and they flopped, and then they came back this year. They're not trying to go back down again. They're trying to get back into their old status of a team that was in the Premier League, locking step, challenging for the title. People forget how good of a team Leeds used to be back in the day.
Oh yeah, facts.
Back in the day.
No, facts. I mean, look at this from Jordan. Big up, Jordan. Cunha is a good signing for us, and get money for Bruno. We're going to invest. There you go. If Bruno goes, they're going to get money for Bruno. They'll invest. Listen, as we said it earlier, Matty, Manchester United, it doesn't matter where they are, what they haven't won, what they haven't qualified for. The fact that they're Manchester United is enough to attract players.
Yep.
It's still a lot of boyhood dreams to play for Man United.
Yep.
It's still a lot of boyhood dreams to play for Liverpool. It's still a lot of boyhood dreams to play for Real Madrid. It used to be for Arsenal. It ain't quite like that nowadays. They don't look at Arsenal and go, "Oh yeah, I really want to play for Arsenal." But they'll look at Man United and go, "Yeah." And this is what I mean about your Gorkarezes. And if they did come in, if they was really serious about Sesko, while we're faffing around, if Man United really wanted to be serious and go, "There you go, 90 million." Manchester United, he's gone.
If you see Bruno sold,
he's gone
in the next 24 to 48 hours. We're in trouble. If you see Darwin Nunez sold within the next 24 to 48 hours, we're in major trouble. Them the two you better watch. You watch them 2 deals. If either one of those 2 deals get done, well, you hear about Bruno's leaving, you better start sweating.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. If Bruno gets done, don't be surprised if they don't come sniffing for Sesko or Gorkarez or someone like that. And we've got to act fast. We have to act fast. Otherwise, we're just going to be left behind. And I'm sorry, mate. Like you, Aaron, I've just paid XYZ amount of pounds for my season ticket. If I don't see any improvement or any big names, I'm going to be absolutely livid next season. I don't know about you, brother.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, we give up a lot of money and a lot of time for this. We pay the money and we pay all this high transfer thing, season tickets, because they was expecting us to get more revenue to sell and put on players. Like this is what we pay them the astronomical wages for to see us getting a Gyökeres through the building, not Sesko. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just I looked at it, and when I paid it, you went to the bank thing, confirm it's you. It was a very, very painful moment for me.
Yeah, I know, mate. But it's in you, isn't it?
Deserve that money. I was there, like, literally right now. I was like,
yeah, I know.
I know.
But the only thing is, Aaron, if me and you didn't go, you'd have one of these top gooners going, taking our place. The season ticket would be gone. We'd be history. And you'd get a top gooner going in there, lauding this guy up. So, I'd much rather you go, my friend, and myself than some of these others that go. And listen, as I said earlier, guys, chat, and Aaron will back me up, and Matty, there's people my age that still worship this manager at my age. You know what I mean? Guys that have seen George Graham's and all your Wengers and all your brilliant Arsenal teams still backing this manager. I can't get my head around it, Aaron. I really
JB, can't. I had this argument with a fan about your age who sits about 3 rows in front of me, when Odegaard, I can't think what game it was, but he came off and he was horrendous and I booed him. And I mean, he'd come off down near where we are. Obviously, the other side of the tunnel's the other side, isn't it? But, the new rule is they have to come off the closest opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he looked around and he said, he goes, how can you live with yourself booing your captain like that? And I said to him, I was like, someone of your age, mate, you should know better. That you have seen Tony Adams at this football club captain. You've seen Patrick Vieira. Do you know what I mean? You can go all the way back to Pat Rice. Do you know what I mean? Alan Ball.
Yeah.
What's his name? David O'Leary.
Liam Brady's.
What we're doing here. Do you know what I mean? And I said to him, you should know better. You should know better. And I won't disrespect him because it was just the fact that I just couldn't believe the cheek of it. I was like, you kidding me? It's like, you should know better. You should know better. He's crap. This football, this captain. He's crap.
I've had it. Matty, Aaron, I've had it coming out the ground, going into a bar, going into one of the pubs, and we're chatting. And when you're standing there and you're talking about the game and everything else, I've gone. It's crap. It's appalling. What do you mean? We won, and I went, yeah, but I mean, okay, we won, but did you enjoy it really? Well, yeah, I'm fully behind him. I reckon we're going places. Blah blah blah. What evidence are you going? What? So you want the manager gone then? And I'm gone. Well, yeah, don't you? You ain't won nothing, and we're actually getting into quite a heavy argument about it. And I'm like looking at him. Is it to say, are you for real? So we get it all the time from not just young fans. We're getting it from all ages. Yeah. And this is the problem with this football club. They seem to be happy to go along, meet up with their friends, have a few beers. As long as we're in the Champions League and we get a couple of nights out next season, it's all fine, it's all dandy. But I want to win something, mate. I want to win something. But anyway, big up the chat. Once again, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for all your comments. Make sure you sub. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you sub to these legends as well. Thank you very much. Look out for my future streams. We will be doing some more along the way. Obviously, it's the summer, so they're a little bit staggered. You don't want to see my ugly face every day, so they will be staggered. But I will be around. I'll be on the Aaron's channel. I'll be dropping in with Lee. I'll be round and about. But big up everyone. So guys, what can I say? But Aaron, thank you for dropping on. I hope I de-stressed you. Matty, thank you for giving up your time, brother. Thank you very much for all your input. Always a legend. Always talking facts, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, guys, we will stay safe, stay well, look after yourself, look after everyone, and we're gone. Adios. Take it easy, guys.